Okay, hey everybody, how's everybody doing? Hopefully we are live and everybody can see us. So today, as you guys will notice, we got a little bit different lineup going on. Jason is out of the country. He is in Wales doing a some sort of a road rally tour thing. Um, through the mountains and hills. I don't know. I know he was doing some stuff with his Mini Cooper, and he did some of that over there. And then I think this was a Range Rover thing or something like that. That might be different. I don't remember the facts, but yeah. So he's not here to tell his long ass stories. So this might be a really short one today. I don't know. But that doesn't matter because most importantly, Chubby Funster's with us, and we're going to be talking about his ShadowSun stuff that we did a playtest on. So joining us as usual, we got Mike from Thunderstruck Workshop and Stan from Troll Den, and then below me is Andrew. He's my social media coordinator person,
PR gopher.
If for the most part, if you guys see a post on Facebook on the CNY group, it's probably Andrew. He's the one that's doing it. And I think his internet connection is kind of going in and out.
Oh, it's terrible.
So that'll be awesome. That'll be awesome later. But Andy, thanks for joining us. So Jason is closer to you now than he is to us. So try and find him and say hi. but yeah, so we did a play test with the quick start, the GM and the players quick start stuff from ShadowSun. So we're going to talk about that stuff in a little bit. I have 3 players. First, you guys know how it is. We like to talk about what we've got and what we've done in gaming. Obviously, we'll save the ShadowSun stuff till later, but Mike, you always complain that I pick you last to go. So,
what
do you got?
I'm usually the last one to come in, so I'm on the bottom.
What do you got this week?
I did have gaming this week. We played a second session of Shadow Dark with me playing finally, and that's already ended because reasons. Who is it? Who is it that says my group is a bunch of animals in the chat every week? You're right. They are animals.
Yeah.
And the guy that was DMing has decided to step out of the group temporarily. So I guess I'm back to DMing starting next week. I'm not sure what yet.
Thank you, Andy, for that comment, by the
way. I did get some new stuff. We'll start with the non-gaming stuff. My 4K collection. So I had to get Blade Runner.
Yeah, sure.
The final cut, supposedly it's really good. Amazon had a 3 for $33 deal on these 4K Blu-rays.
Wow.
And
you actually got all 3 of them?
Well, I got Blade Runner and I got Blade Runner 2, which isn't here yet. And I needed one more to pick. And I went through them and I'm like, there's a bunch of movies here I like, but none that I really. So I decided to go for something I've only seen one time back when it released. I know it gets some hate from some people. Waterworld.
Awesome.
Okay.
Hey, man, it fits my post-apocalyptic vibe I'm going for.
Yeah. All right. I mean,
what do you got to say?
No.
Come on, just say it. You always got something.
I don't know. I'm not a fan of Waterworld. I don't know.
Okay.
I can't get past the gills thing. Just that's not how That's not how evolution works.
You weren't invited to watch it. I
I'll
did get
watch
some,
it. Some of it's good.
I
Some
did
of
get
it's
some
good.
gaming stuff this week. The absolutely freaking
Ooh,
gorgeous
the
50th
50th.
anniversary
wow.
slipcase
That's awesome.
that showed up.
That is awesome.
I got Gateways to Terror, Call of Cthulhu.
Oh yeah.
I got the Grand Grimoire of Cthulhu Mythos Magic.
Oh, nice.
And I got the 2-volume horror.
Oh, Orient Express. Wow, you got like
Went all in.
years worth of
I
years
did.
worth of game in there.
I did. So that's what I'm tossing between Call of Cthulhu and Delta Green for this week as a one shot.
Yeah.
I'll probably do Delta Green. I think it'll be easier for them to, because they're going to be learning both of these brand new, the system and everything. I think Delta Green being more modern will be easier for them to slide into it, let them learn the rules, and then we'll do some Call of Cthulhu next.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. What's the 50th box? Is that still 7th edition, or do they use
No, it's
a reprint of first?
nope, it's 7th edition.
Okay.
It comes with, you've got the Keeper's Guide, the Investigator's Guide, and then a Keeper Screen Pack, which I haven't even opened yet. I'm not exactly sure.
Okay.
Let's see. It says it's a 3-panel screen, thick hardcover stock.
Yeah.
But it's also got 2 ready to play scenarios inside of it, 12 ready to play pre-gens, color maps of Miskatonic Country and World of Cthulhu and Arkham Environs. So, yeah, it's got quite a bit in it.
Nice. I'm not seeing Buzzer Kills comments. I don't know if they're not showing up in the.
Well,
See,
they're on my channel. I don't.
that's weird because it'll tell me paired. If it shows up, it says paired next to it, but I'm not seeing them show up. That's weird.
I just said waiting for ShadowSun. So.
Yeah. No, that's cool. I don't know why I'm not seeing it, but it could be me. Who knows? What? So Mike, that's all you got? Just
Yeah, that's it.
$300 worth of Call of Cthulhu
Yeah,
stuff.
that's all I got.
That's it. Cool. Stan, what'd you pick up? You were at OSRCon this
Yep.
weekend?
Yep,
How was
Saturday.
that?
That was good.
Year
It was
one.
good. Yep, year
Yeah.
one, 1-day con in Massachusetts. They did a great job. I have no complaints. It was a lot of fun. Get some games in.
Edgelord wants to play with you, Mike. He's from Buffalo. That's
Oh,
what,
yeah.
hour and a half, 2 hours?
Couple hours.
Stan, so what'd you buy, Stan? What'd you get?
I honestly, though, so shockingly, I actually didn't buy a lot while I was there. I got the typical con
What?
stuff, but I did get this Shadow Dark Adventure by Tom Wilson. I got this. So the color cover is only available at cons. He has the exact same thing you can buy off him. It's just
That's
black
cool.
and white. But
That's
I got
cool.
that, and he gave me a it's like a 1-page adventure.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so basically, I guess the way I took this is the way they work is he gets a map, like somebody draws in maps, and then he just kind of builds an adventure around it.
Cool.
And 4 to 6, this is for Shadow Dark. So yeah, so I did that. That was great. I had a lot of gaming this week, so I actually played Ravenloft on 2nd edition Ravenloft on for a Thursday night. Then went to the con, played Dragon Slayer, where we got to test. We were the final play test for Tom's Dragon Slayer adventure. He just launched on Kickstarter on Monday. That was a lot of fun.
Cool.
It was
Yeah.
really a lot of fun. And then I played Hyperborea with Jeff Talanian after that. So that was a lot of fun as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, I want to try and get into a game with Talanian, definitely.
Yeah, that was my third one. I'd lucked out like 2 years in a row at ShireCon and then at OSRCon because they fill up fast, those slots. So
I got in the game with Gillespie last year and Talanian, but I wasn't fast enough with the buzzer this year to get in either of theirs. But It's great time.
Yeah,
Legendary GMs. Yeah.
yeah.
Cool.
Jeff's real.
Yeah.
I've never gamed with Greg, but Jeff is a lot of fun to play games with, and just pick his brain too. On why he did certain things with Hyperborea and stuff, and yeah, he's really good. And then I ran my CNC game on Sunday when I was home. Back
Oh,
home.
nice. Did you come home?
Yeah.
Oh, that con that was only a one day.
Yeah, it was just Saturday,
Okay.
and it's less than 2 hours from my house. So
Okay, cool. Oh,
I
so
went
you didn't
down.
even stay.
I stayed the night before because it started early. Like the doors opened at 7:30. The
Oh,
game
wow.
started at 8. Probably 8:30 was closer to when they actually started. But yeah, so I went down the night before and crashed at the Holiday Inn, which was like 7 minutes from the venue. It was no problem. So that
That's
was good.
interesting. 7:30. The last year I did CNY. Saturday was at 10 a.m. was the first game, and Bloodworth kind of not like complained, but he was like, "Man, you should start earlier than that." I'm like, "I don't know, man. You know, like I'm up for like a week straight getting everything
Yeah,
set." I'm like,
I
"Man."
I was
So this
I
year
was
it's
fine
9.
with it, but I just didn't want. I wasn't sure like what the
Yeah,
traffic situation would be, so I was like, well, I'll go down the night before and
yeah.
crash. And Bloodworth, he drove. He's a madman. He drove that morning, then he drove home that night. So he had about 8 hours worth of driving.
Wow. Yeah, I was gonna
Oh,
say he's
wow.
3 4
Yeah,
hours, I think, right?
yeah. I think, and
Crazy.
he said he didn't hit any traffic on his way in. I don't know how he made out on his way home, but I
Yeah.
didn't. I had traffic on my way down, like just before I got off the exit into Chelmsford where the con was. The traffic was literally at a standstill on 495, which was awesome.
Nice.
But it didn't last long. That was great. And then Saturday there was nothing. Like I left and no factor. Like it was just smooth sailing.
Cool.
I got home in
Good times.
less than 2 hours.
Hopefully I can make it in next year. So
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
see.
It was fun. It was fun. They did a good job.
Cool. Cool. What Chubby, you said you got some stuff
Yeah,
to show off.
I
Yeah.
have a bi-weekly game that hit, and then I have a weekly Gods of Forbidden North game, and I post a lot about the Gods of Forbidden North game on my YouTube channel. I like updates on where they are and everything, and people love to tell me in the comments how kill too many characters and how could
Oh, boy.
anyone enjoy things being so challenging and all that kind of stuff. And we had something happen that I think really epitomizes what it's like to do an old school game. And
Sure.
so we had a guy about maybe 15 sessions ago. He they went into this place as a barrow mound, and they recovered a intelligent weapon from that barrow mound. And
Okay.
then, like about 8 to 10 sessions ago, they met a guy in the town who had planned on going in there and getting the weapon, and he had this very powerful anti-magic item that you could like cancel and destroy things with. And that one of my players, Justin, he just put that under his cap for a while. And then they went into a place just one session ago, and they found this really powerful evil thing that they wanted to cancel out. So he hires a thief because he's a cleric. He hires a thief as a specialist basically to go in and steal this item from the guy who has it and bring it back. And we calculate. I was like, okay, I'm going to say this guy, you're paying him this much. He's this level. He has a 80% chance of getting it or whatever. He goes, the guy steals it, and they take the item and they go down, and he says he puts it up against this evil artifact when he touches it. Now, if he hadn't have gone through all that, when he touched that thing, he would have been in a world of pain. It would have been all kinds of saving throws and pain, death, and curses and all this stuff. But he knows that the world is that dangerous, so he was paying attention this whole time. Like, we've got this. He even, for a while, he talked about maybe trading the intelligent weapon for the anti-magic item to see if they needed that. Like, then he finally he was like, if I do the thieving thing, it might cause me to lose my alignment because I'm a cleric and all this stuff. Like went through all these different things, but machinations, you know. And so people on the YouTube comments will be like, "Oh, well, if you walk in and you touch this thing, you get killed arbitrarily by the GM." Like, no, like they know they live in a dangerous world. They know that they have to go through all these things in order to survive. So this guy, for over a 15 session period, had a plan come into fruition.
Yep.
Get this thing. So it just boggles my mind when people think that people are running an old school game, like you just walk into a dungeon, you touch a thing, and you're dead, and that's it. Like, no,
Yeah.
players will adapt to living in that world. They won't just presume that they're gonna, everything should be fine. I'm just gonna go in and pull every lever that's out there.
That's why 10-foot poles exist, right? Like,
it's crazy. So it's just good times. It's been a fantastic campaign. We're on our 10th month of weekly sessions. So
yeah, Edgelord looks like he's going to be doing some
Edgelord.
ShadowSun. Yeah. He wouldn't come out. He wouldn't come out to play in my my play test this past weekend. So just refused because Jason was out of the country. He's like, nope, not coming out. What else? So you've been running Gods of the Forbidden North. Have you been running that online? Is that the one that you were running?
Yeah, I run it on Roll20 because I got 2 players in Florida. I'm in Georgia.
Yeah.
I got a guy in Texas. I got a guy in I think Pennsylvania. It's just all over the place, and we just can't get together in real life, so play on there. Although a lot of us go to North Texas, so see each other there. But cool. I also run a Adventure Conquer King 2 game. That's the bi-weekly game, and it's a game of a lot of different creator people who can't really kind of get it. If they go into a game, they become the forever GM. They that kind of thing. So people, we're getting guys together who normally don't get to play, and I'm running this one, but when this is over, somebody else will run that. It'll be good.
Cool times. You get anything cool in the past week or so?
Yeah, if I can screen share here, I got 3 new art commissions this week.
That's awesome.
This is for the Arcane Magic spellcasting page, so I wanted like a really good. This is an homage to a piece that's in Dark Sun.
Okay,
it's very similar kind of positioning of the figures and everything. And then the same artist did a knoll for me with a hyena and a wall of sand.
Nice.
For the magic spell.
Yeah, that's cool.
So really good. That's
cool.
O'Neill. I forget Robert O'Neill. There's only a few more pieces that I need left, and they've already been commissioned. I'm just waiting on them back for to be everything for the quick start to be fully laid out. Right now, some of the pages say art commission coming. Once I have that, then might be another 3 weeks maybe. Then I will be putting it up on drive-through and letting kind of a wider audience bring in. Part of the deal with being an independent creator is that you really have to pay close attention to algorithmic functions and people getting information and how the marketing distribution works. And so I'm going to be putting that out at the same time I launch a Kickstarter stub page, right? So that people can start saying, tell me about this when it goes live. And then it takes time. You put something up, it takes time for it to distribute out, and then you got to time. So, I have to plan out like the next 3 or 4 months of when things are going to hit in order to make it work. It's just part of the burden of being an independent creator now.
Yeah, I just put the Patreon link there. It's that's a great source of information and stuff. That's where the play tests are currently available. And Chubby's really great with making posts. I'm on some Patreons, and you get a post every week or so, or sometimes a couple a month, and Like I don't know if yours actually is daily, but it's got to be close to
Almost,
it.
yeah.
Because I think it's every day. I mean, then I see something that you post, whether it's art or some kind of update, and it's great stuff. It's all great stuff.
I
So
try to post.
fantastic.
I'm working every day. I make sure I work a little bit on it every day, even
Yeah,
if I've had a really busy day doing a real world day job stuff or whatever. I still try to put in at least 15 minutes. Now I only make posts when like a page is done and ready to post up.
yeah,
So I spent a lot of time today organizing stuff and putting out like a structure of a chart together with all these different things, but it just wasn't ready to post. So tomorrow probably it'll get done and then it'll go up.
yeah,
There's definitely going to be caravan mechanics in ShadowSun. The way that it works is I wanted to take correct. I feel like carousing is an important, awesome part of Shadow Dark. It
yeah,
creates, and I've actually talked about this a lot in the past. It creates like a sine wave distribution of play. So people, their wealth goes up, and then they burn it all back down with
yeah,
carousing, and it keeps them hungry all the time.
yeah.
But
I love it.
the problem with it though is if it's just one load bearing structure in the game. So at a certain point, people kind of are like, it's kind of weird that we're all just drunken hedonists every second. So that's why in the GM companion, I put in like a religious way to do a carousing function,
Sure.
a martial way of doing it, and a magical research way of doing it. So in ShadowSun, I'm continuing that. The caravans is one of those mechanics. So you
Cool.
pick you pick like a caravan destination, and you spend time and money to kind of you're finding like-minded people. You don't own the whole caravan. It's like a group of people that you're going to be traveling with, and then based on how much you invest, you get bonuses on the rolls to having better encounters while you're actually doing the caravan. And then when you get there, there's kind of like a sales moment. I don't know how many people have played Crusader Kings 3, but it's one of my favorite games
I
on
haven't.
PC. And in it, they at one of the expansions they added this really great pilgrimage system where like you plan for the pilgrimage, then you go there. When you get there, there's like a resolution of how it works, and then you come back, and then there's another resolution when you get back. So I've been thinking about this for a while, like a way of having it interact like that. And I wanted to make it one way in ShadowSun rather than a two-way thing, because sometimes people just want to travel to a new city, so they could caravan to go to the new city and then end there. That would be awesome plan. So you could create a second caravan to go back to the same place that you started from if you wanted. But
Okay.
I have most of the caravan stuff ready, but I haven't finalized all the encounters yet, because there's whenever you're designing a game, there's all these different variables that at one given point you don't know. I don't know how this other thing is going to work yet, so I can't really fill that out in this table how it would connect to that other table. But as those kind of connections get made, those posts get. I've already posted the base mechanics, I think, in the Patreon somewhere. There's a lot. Well, you could. I mean, it just wouldn't be with the caravan mechanic. You could always. There's mounts in the system. You could buy a whole bunch of mounts. You could do it all yourself. It just wouldn't. There's some of Al-Qadim in this too. I really like the parts of Al-Qadim where you're traveling through the desert and there's like a group of bandits that attacks you, or a sandstorm or whatever.
Sure.
So those are the kind of encounters that I'm creating in there to create that kind of pulpy feeling when you're out there. And oh, here comes a group of white-robed bandits with scimitars. Here comes a group of they have a whole bunch of mantis folk with psionic powers that come up and attack you, whatever. So you have these things, and you have a number of guards, and if they die, then that has consequences also. You'd have characters that die, and then you get to the place and you roll for reward. So at the end you get like not just XP but also monetary reward, because it is a economic venture.
Sure.
and then you're good to from that. There's 20 city states on the map, so there's all these different places you could be caravanning to.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. No, I can't wait to check that out because I was wondering about that when we were doing our thing of how the carousing kind of thing was going to work. Because obviously carousing doesn't really work in Dark Sun, but
There are. I've read the books very closely as a part of the past 3 years doing this stuff, and there are taverns and stuff in there, but to me, it doesn't make sense with if water is really that scarce,
Yeah.
that people would be engaging in activities that were based on liquid. So I actually added an alcohol system where you kind of create using the game has 6 elements like earth, wind, fire, or earth, air, fire, water, life, and void. So like the nothingness outside of the sky or whatever.
Sure.
Or the shadow effects, magical darkness stuff. So you kind of use these different elements to create an alcohol. So then it is a very precious thing that when you sit down, you're drinking like a scotch, not a kegger, and you're having this little bit of thing. And then I'm also creating a smoking system, which makes a lot more sense with the scarcity situation in the ShadowSun. So there's going to be all these different types of ways to have game effects from smoking. Like the only game that I know of that really taps into that kind of stuff thematically is like Lord of the Rings stuff, where you have time that you spend smoking. But this would be kind of like you don't just smoke the thing and you get like one status effect. You have to, you spend a day talking to a particular type of people that's at the place where you're smoking. You're doing there's the effect of what you're smoking itself. Then there's all these different kinds of things that are going to factor in. So that's the kind of systems that aren't in the quick start. They're being built out on top of that. And I mean, even limited as the quick start is, it's still like 150 pages for the two of them put together.
Yeah. I just want to finish going around. I definitely want to get back to ShadowSun, but Andrew, would you get anything?
Well, I finally got a copy.
Nice.
After weeks of borrowing printed PDFs or somebody else's book at the table. You know what? We were testing it out. You weren't sure if you were going to commit to it, and now here we are.
Yeah.
And there
it was a good time. It's fantastic.
So I know the cutting out's great, but
perfect timing.
Also, we can get right back to it.
Yeah,
because this was on my acquisition list this week.
That's cool. Yeah. I print out everything. I print out the players, copies of the players quick start for the players, so they can create characters and go through and do that stuff.
Well, once I put it up on drive-through, I can add a print option so that we could put it to get like combined into one book, about 150 page book. So it'll be much half the size of Shadow Dark, roughly. Shadow Dark's like 330, I think.
Paul wants the hookah bar rules.
Yeah,
there's the carousing. There's the carousing mechanic.
The way that I work is I'll have like I'll have a page in my layout in InDesign, and I just have a list of like a D20 table. And every time I hear about something there's this particular type of smoking thing that they do in Persia, and I'll go put that in the list and just over time fill it up with all the ideas that I get.
I put the link to the Patreon and the thing. That's where you can currently get the quick start, but it'll be up on drive-through soon.
You were talking about alcohol. Why didn't you could add Shubat, fermented camel milk?
Oh,
oof.
There you go.
Only if it's blue,
thick and chunky.
Well,
it's in
the setting.
It's a real thing.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it is. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I don't think I would
a
drink
real
it,
thing
but...
in Dark Sun. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a few things this week. I just want to go. The first one. This isn't really RPG related, but it's gaming related. They'll come up in our when we talk about video games. But I got this 50 years of text game history, which is pretty cool. This was on Kickstarter, and then I didn't back it, and then I ended up buying it because I was thinking about text games, and I forget who was talking about the old BBS games, but was that you, Mike? Yeah, mentioned that. So I picked that up. That was really cool. These came in. These are from Bloat Games, Campgrounds and Cryptids. They're just like zine size things. They're solo rules for just quick things. They got all sorts of different kind of genres and stuff in here. Just fun stuff from Kickstarter. I picked up a copy of Stargrave finally. I have Frostgrave and Rangers of Shadow Deep that's from him, so I'm interested to try that out. And the guy Aaron Siddall turned me on to this game here, Gozer, because the art looks awesome, and so he made me buy it from him so I can check it out.
Reminds me of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, kind of
It's
the style.
it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the aesthetic in the book is all like hand drawn, kind of stuff. So it's kind of neat. It's kind of cool looking. So I don't know. The aesthetic was good. And then, guys, I debated whether I was going to tell everybody that I bought this or not, because I'm probably never going to hear the end of it. So it's a good thing that Jason's not here.
My Little Pony.
Nope.
Blue
Nope.
Rose?
You ready?
Oh my God!
What?
What's wrong with you?
Did you just
So-
have money on to throw away? Or-
Yeah.
Yeah, send it to me.
I had some extra money to throw away. No, my daughter got invited to a game, and I had to find her a copy. And so
It had to be 5.5.
I bought a cup. That's what they're playing. And I didn't have a player's handbook for her. And I mean, what am I going to do? Just, keep all of my morals and, and not buy her one and say no, bring.
Sometimes you have to send them out like sheep amidst the wolves. I mean, that's just the way it is. My son had to get a copy because they had a D&D club at his school, and I had raised him on Adventure Conquer King and OSE. So he goes there, and they're having the most lame ass game you could possibly imagine. And he was like 2 sessions after that, he was like, I can't do this crap anymore. They're playing this baby game. I was like, he just walked out.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, but it's interesting. The GM, he was. I did like a homeschool class, like in gaming and stuff, and I showed him different games and all that. And so, yeah, Agile. So I showed them Shadow Dark, and I actually gave the guy who's the GM a copy of Shadow Dark, and he really loves it. And so the other players, some of them want to play, 5.5, but when they're down a couple players, like he runs Shadow Dark. So that's cool. So that's something, so yeah, Agile. It's good to see you. Scooter for Mike. How you doing? Sorry if I missed anybody in the chat. I'm just kind of going through, but yeah, Paul. But yeah, I got it. It's there. That's what I got. That's
what you
my
should
stuff.
put a warning label on it that talks about how you don't agree with the cultural elements that are contained within it, but you're still going to profit from it off of their website.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know what am I going to do? I'm going to instead, I consider just buying 3 more Shadow Dark books and then sending her with that. And then, and then say, here, play this instead. But I mean, people got to play what they got to play, right? Like I'm all about, hey, here's Shadow Dark. Here's this, try this, play this, right? They tried it. Some of them liked it. But some people want, they want more. They want like the crunchy stuff. They want to, they want to have death saves that are, that are almost impossible to fail. I mean, that's that. But I don't know. But hopefully I can switch them over. But yeah, So my daughter's got a 5.5 book. We'll see what happens with it, but yeah, fun time. She did one session so far, so
Did you
but
like
it was okay. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
You know, they all the part of the problem that she said is that they all built their characters on
D&D Beyond?
the software D&D Beyond, so they all have their phones out with all the stuff on
Oh, yeah.
there, and none of them have any idea what actually to roll or where to find any of the information because they just click on the thing on the character sheet. Chubby, this has got to be for you.
Yeah, it's on my channel. I was just looking at it.
Dear Star,
Wow.
yeah, and in good conscience, support your five. Yeah, but because you're on my daughter, I want you to fit in with the other kids. I'll buy this book this one time. Love that. Yeah, that's pretty much how it happened.
Well, I got an idea for you, Roger. So let them play that for a while, and then offer to run Curse of Strahd for them. And then when they show up with their
Yeah.
characters, they show up in Barovia. You kill them all right away, and then they resurrect because their soul can't leave Barovia.
Yep.
They come back as a Barovian, and you're like, "Here's your OSC character, or here's your Shadow character, or whatever," and then just start from there.
There you go. See, yeah,
Whack it right
Yeah.
out the gate. Just kill them all and start over.
that's awesome. Buzzer Kill wants to know about release date.
My goal is to have the Kickstarter in August or earlier. My summer is kind of a more productive time for me. It's already over 60% written. I mean, so I don't want to launch the Kickstarter until it is 95% written at worst. I prefer 100%.
Yeah,
And
that's
then,
definitely not the norm.
there's just there's a certain stress from owing people things that I hate.
Yeah.
I just hate it. I just can't stand it, and I want to make sure and I have the resources to finance all the art forward, and I don't have to. Yeah, I don't have to wait for the money to come in so that I can pay for a thing. You know, the most expensive object in the whole game from an art perspective is the map. And when Glenn Seal finished it, he was like, here's my PayPal, and just send it right away. And done. I'd hate to have to owe somebody money to over a long period. It's like, I can't stand it. So I want to make sure it's totally ready to go.
Yeah.
And the only delay will be printing. I'm gonna try to do a ribbon in a nice book. Rob Alderman is a good friend of mine. He did Gods of Forbidden North. He's given me kind of contacts and stuff to get it printed nicely. It's not something, the admin load is the worst part of this whole experience to me. So I'm trying to just do it as simply as possible. That's my plan. And if there's any kind of pain in the ass, I have no problem switching it back over to drive through. Like, sure. I want to give people want it to be a nicer quality book with a ribbon and all that. That's why I want to give it to them.
Yeah.
But if it becomes too much, it's just I just don't see a value in having the creator go through all of these hoops and suffer through all kinds of stuff so that people can have some kind of marginally better difference at the end. It needs to be a substantial thing that people care about in order to cause a print delay or whatever. How long were people waiting for Shadow Dark books to come over? I remember the original Kickstarter, like it was the Shadow Barge is bringing the books, those kind of delays annoy the hell out of me. And I don't want to be the person having to tell you why I'm late.
Yeah. So Andrew, I don't know if he has a channel unless he's secretly hiding it from us. Mike has his channel. Mike, do you want to drop your?
I just did.
Oh, you did. I'm sorry. Okay. So yeah, Mike has his, and are you gonna have are you gonna be doing some terrain stuff on yours, Mike? You're gonna do terrain painting and whatnot?
No,
is that the?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Listen, between between two conventions, selling stuff on Facebook, it's
Yeah.
just so it's weird. It's really hit and miss. You know, to go to what Chubby was just saying, I'm the same way with my stuff. If you like, you know, all the time I'll get these orders, like a big $600 order of something printed and painted, and I'll get people that are like, "Oh, well, can I pay you now?" No, I'm going to print it. I'm going to paint it. When it's
Yeah.
done, I'll show you the pictures, and then you can pay me for it, and I'll send it to you. Because I look at it this way: I'm not losing anything. If they decide for some reason, if they change their mind or whatever,
Yeah,
and,
right.
you know, I'll just sell it. You know, that's all. I'll still get my money for it. I'm not worried about it. But I would rather not have somebody send me $600 and now I feel obligated to like get it immediately. You know,
Yeah.
especially I'm pretty quick about this stuff. You know, these big
Sure.
orders I get, I turn them around fast. But you know, if for some reason something comes up and I can't get to it right away, and it takes, you know, even on my store, painted stuff has like a 14-day window, and I'm usually shipping within 2 to 3 days. You
Yeah.
know, but
Yeah.
I have that leeway there. So, yeah.
Sure.
By the way, I linked it on your YouTube, but it didn't seem to come through in the
Put it
chat here.
put it in
Yeah, put it in the private chat.
put it in the private
YouTube
chat and I'll
eats
do
those
it.
links up.
Yeah. So yeah, there it is there. So I will copy that.
But so
and will
I don't
paste
know.
that.
I might at some point start doing something with it, but
That's
I guess
Mike's YouTube channel, I think. I don't know if that'll I don't know. That might go to the live thing, but well, that'll get you there. It should get you there. So yeah, I wanted to I know Andrew's gonna have to jet soon, so I want to I want to cover our play test. Um so the setting, as far as the setting goes, we could talk some more about that later. If there's anything you want to add, but basically it's Dark Sun for Shadow Dark. There's a few changes, right? But it's a desert.
It's
Um,
heavily inspired by Dark Sun. There's, like I mentioned, there's Al-Qadim influences as well.
mhm.
There's a lot of stuff that, like, Dark Sun went out of its way to not include, but that means everything has to be brand. So this is kind of includes some things that are more of a transition. So there's some familiarity for people that are new. There's every animal isn't totally alien to Earth. Every monster isn't totally different from in
Sure.
the original. And a lot of that came from when I originally wrote ShadowSun. I didn't have the resources to buy the art to have everything be different, right? So a big part of the revisions is moving to having a lot more stuff that is like Dark Sun and less stuff that is becoming from more traditional D&D world. But that it's hard to do. It's very hard to do a universe with everything being brand new because people have a hard time figuring out what stuff is, right? So if they're looking for
Sure.
a mount, right, they might be okay with just getting a camel right out the gate and then realizing, oh, if you're on this bird monster it's more aggressive than a camel. If you're on this lizard monster, it will be more, and they can ease themselves into the world. It doesn't have to be everything is brand new all the time,
Sure.
because it's hard for human beings to just learn just the names of things being different, so having a few touchstones is useful.
Yeah. So yeah, but I mean for it's a giant desert. You do have things like savanna listed
That's right.
and
Yep.
there's like scrub
It has
forest.
in Dark Sun there's a silt sea, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like thin particulate. And when I first started thinking how would I thought of, this is Shadow Dark, so it would be a black kind of like a charcoal silt that was everywhere as like an ocean, and
Yeah.
people could sail on it, right? And so I don't have the vehicles like in Dark Sun where the wheels that go through the high stuff. I converted it over to being boats. And one of the landforms is actually a dust sinks, which are kind of like marshes of dust, right? So there's some high ground, there's some pits. It's like I like muskegs as a terrain type where it's just you don't know what you're stepping on. You could fall in. It could be a swamp. It could be frozen hard. It could be whatever. So I tried to create that kind of a feel with a hot terrain. So you
Yeah.
know you might be camping on the one piece of high ground you can find, but you really need a canoe to even get around like it's a marsh. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So I really like the setting. Now I think that for some, like, because like the OSR kind of stuff and Shadow Dark is, a lot deadlier than, 5e, 5.5, whatever. So it's already kind of has that, you know, oh, it's hard type of thing, to some people, you know. And then on top of it, like, this world is, it's harsh. The world itself is, so there's extra steps. So like the whole water thing, so now you need, water, on top of a daily ration,
Carrying it. Yeah.
and
Yeah. It's
you need
challenging.
another water if you're traveling during the day. So, you basically need 2 waters a day, and all that. So it kind of makes it, you know, um, there's more things going on. It's more survival based, I think, than like traditional Shadow Dark is. I
Yeah,
don't know
but
if
one thing
that's
I do want to point out to people is that, like, if you even just playing in base Shadow Dark, if you give out 300 gold pieces worth of treasure to some guy, if the person churns all that back into carousing, then yeah, it's going to be hard for them to carry stuff around. But if they ask around and find an NPC who's willing to just be a porter and carry water for them, if they get a mount, if then the mount, yeah, they're putting things on the mount, whatever, like planning ahead, it makes,
sure.
is what that's the purpose of those kind of rules is you need to think about that. How much water do I need to carry to go out there? I don't, to answer Watcher DM's question, I don't think that it's necessarily deadlier than Shadow Dark. The things that I try, one of the things I try to do is make things more challenging by giving directions to the GM, not by changing the base mechanics of things. So like there's many monsters where one of their abilities in the list is if they kill something, the next round they will eat the thing. So if they knock you onto a death timer, they will then eat you on the next round. So that's technically available right now in Shadow Dark for any GM to do. They're just not doing it, right?
Sure.
So things like that I try to put in so that you're creating. There's a lot of stuff in here to give my unique perspective on game mastering, my way of running things, and then there's some stuff that I don't do, but I'm designing to accommodate. Like everything is organized on a weekly basis. There's a calendar that is organized weekly. Downtime is expected to happen and be processed weekly. So when you come back from the dungeon, you can take a week where one of you carouses and one of you does something else and one of you does something else. And then everybody can get some variety. And that fits in with people who are using one-to-one time to run their games. I don't use one-to-one time, but like that's what I try to design it so that it would integrate with that if that's what people want to do.
Yeah, I was trying to do 1-to-1 time, and I think I'm gonna change that up a little bit, to something. I'm kind of
Don't let the
working on
Bro
something,
SR
but
hear you say that. You're doing it
we'll
wrong.
see. Well, maybe I am, but
Well, I mean, you saw Roger on the Patreon because you're a Patreon member. There's I posted the list of all the downtime activities in a post
yeah,
just within like the past week or so. Let me see if I can pull it up here.
yeah, it's cool. And I like that you have downtime activities for the ancestries, and they can
Yeah,
do that and get a luck token out of it.
yeah.
So
So
that's neat.
there's every ancestry has their own specific thing. Like the most classic one for Dark Sun is that dwarves make stuff,
Yeah,
right? So if the dwarf has a week of downtime, they can sit there and craft a thing, and then they get a luck token for having crafted the thing, right? And every ancestry has a thing that they can do like that, and that's the first line of like a 25 line table of all the different things. You can rest in order to recover stat damage. You can begin working on a caravan. You can build. One of the things I'm really proud of is the totem system that I developed for ShadowSun. So I love in Adventure Conquer King 2 reserve XP, being able to set aside XP so that if my character dies, I won't have to start out at level 1. I think it makes people much more willing to throw themselves into battle and die if they know that there's going to be that way. You know, how can you be a Viking who's ready to go to Valhalla if you're also terrified of becoming a level 1 character?
Right.
Right. So putting those things in. So totems was my way of doing that with ShadowSun. So your character can take a week of downtime and create a totem of it's kind of ancestor worship is the closest thing to real life there. So you're making like a totem of your ancestors and your family, and depending on how much energy and you've got to roll for things, whatever. When you die, you'll start with a certain number of XP. So you might start with enough to be, I think the highest one is you can start as a 3rd level character with 0 because it resets with every level in chat. So you reset to 3rd level with 0, or you might be 2nd level with 16 XP. So you just need another 4 XP to get to 3rd level or what, and then it goes all the way down. So most people are going to have bad, outcomes for a while where they're only going to start with maybe 6 or 8 XP for their new character, but that's better than starting with 0, but it also means that your character gets attached to places, right? So if you make a totem, a statue of your family, you can't carry that around with you all over the place. So now you're going to have an attachment to, this is the town where I left the statue of my grandfather. If that town gets destroyed, I'm going to care about that. And if the totem gets destroyed, you can't get the XP when you die. So like you have to protect it in order to keep it. So there's all these kind of things like that to do in the downtime. Go with the super chat. Much appreciated, Agile.
Yeah. No, it's really, really interesting stuff. And I'm really looking forward to seeing the finished product. I think the art looks fantastic and, the direction. I don't know if I'll be able to get my group to play it. I mean, obviously some of them will be able to play it. We had a couple people that were, that we were short this week. Obviously Jason had to go to Wales, so he chose Wales over your game, Chubby. I want you to know that.
I'm pretty sure he had Wales planned for some time in the.
We don't know. We can't prove that. All right.
Hey, Roger, as awesome as ShadowSun is, I think if I was you had the option between playing a one-shot in your game or going to Wales, I would choose Wales.
All right. Well, screw you too then. All right. No, I get it. I understand. I'm just, I'm giving it to Jason when he's not here.
Yeah. When you were talking about reserve XP, it's very similar to how 2E Dark Sun handles it anyways, because you have a pool of characters.
Yeah.
And your characters that aren't there, I believe one of them gets half of whatever you earned for that adventure. So you've got an active one and you've got 2 inactives. And then when you get experience, half as much of that you can apply towards one of those reserve characters. So you could slowly start building 1 or 2 of them up. So if you die, you're not starting back at level 3. You're starting at 3 plus whatever you've earned.
Thank you, Dan. Mike, Agile wants to know what you're doing on your channel.
Oh, nothing.
Perfect.
If you look at the videos that are on there, they are only right now restreams of this.
I want to talk about this playtest. We could talk some more about the world and stuff, but like I said, I think Andrew's got a hard out at what 7:30. Is he frozen?
He's out every
I'm,
5
I'm in
minutes.
and out. I'm
He's in
5
and out.
minutes. It's more like
That's
5
fantastic.
seconds.
All right. Well, I want to talk about this. So, Andrew, I would stop me if you got something, where we're at. So, we ran the adventure in the quick start. So, and Chubby, stop me if I'm being too forthcoming with
You
everything.
can say,
I'll try not to
you can
spoil
say
stuff.
anything you want. Yeah.
But so guys, spoilers, right? If you guys are gonna play in this thing, like don't watch it. There's just some spoilers here, right? So I put the thing 3 days away. I believe I figured it was like three um of the sand hexes away. I'm terrible with remembering names here, but
No problem.
and I think the sand is you move at half speed. So normally you could do two hexes a day. I think you can only go one hex a day through the sand. So we did 3 days of travel to the thing. No random encounters. Everything was fine. You know, they made it. Joe was playing. So we had three characters, or three players, each playing a character. Joe was playing a human shaman. Andrew was playing a mule explorer,
Yep.
and Randall was playing, I believe, a human infiltrator.
hmm
And that was kind of how that went. And so they went into this place through the leg. I realized quickly that the golem is face down. I thought he was face up. My mistake. But
No
he's
worries.
face down in the sand. I don't know if that matters, but
I don't
Yeah.
think it matters really. You can run it either way.
he's face down. Well, because you mentioned something about his right leg going into his right leg, and I had that reversed.
Oh, okay. I guess that
So-
would. Yeah, everything is described
He's
right
face-
and left based on the map
Yeah.
orientation. So yeah.
Right. So, but I figured, okay, it's his right leg, so he's face down. I don't know. That's what goes through my brain. I don't know.
Is
But,
this adventure from the Patreon?
Yeah, this
Yes.
it's out in the GM Quick Start right now.
Yeah, so it's a golem. It's an old stone golem from a long time ago that has been felled out in the desert, and some of the sands like blew away and revealed like this entrance, and some large ants have gone in there and kind of hollowed it out and whatnot, and they've kind of taken up residence. So it's kind of cool. I mean, it's a really cool layout. I print the whole thing I print the map at 900%, which makes the squares 1-inch squares, and I taped sections together, and he's a little over 5 feet tall. So
Wow, awesome.
which is awesome. It's like actual life size. It's like as if you took an actual person, and was playing, against the.
We gotta get some pictures of
kind
that.
Cool.
Yeah,
Cool
it was like
scale thing.
Gulliver's Travel style.
It was a Gulliver Travel style. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
cool. I'll have to get. I'll move my camera later. I'll do it, and I'll show you what I got on the table. It's sort of a mess, but
Now I'm thinking I need to print one of those on like vinyl and take it with me to cons and stuff.
it's
roll.
cool.
I've seen Kelsey has her
That'd
big
be cool.
like Lost Citadel of the Minotaur that she takes with her when she runs stuff.
Yeah. No,
she,
this
she
was
has
cool.
it on a tablecloth.
Oh, it's
Oh,
cloth.
nice.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah, I saw pictures from Gary Con, and she had it on the table. It's a tablecloth.
Nice.
I did the same thing. I just printed it in blueprints, so it was 2 blueprints put together.
So they went in, they go in, and they go in the leg, and Joe was very proactive in moving everything forward. Right? Like that was his thing. He's the guy in the con game that I like, who's just, okay, we're done with this room. He's a door kicker,
Yep.
like we're doing the thing. You kick the next door open and kind of force the play to move forward, which wasn't bad. What wasn't bad, really. Especially in the leg where you start, there's not a whole lot that's going on.
It's supposed to be atmospheric and just build
Yeah,
up.
right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, and that's exactly what it did. And they kind of went through and they got into a couple fights. They had some problems in the area the upper part of the leg where the thrumming is amplified, and they kept failing checks to try and get through there. And then, and so things like that were complicated. And they got into a couple fights, and they ended up having to rest. They wanted to rest. And so they ended up resting in the meat room, the meat storage room there. And normally if it was a campaign game, I wouldn't let them do it. I would say no, there's no way, whatever. So I said, okay, what I'll do is I'll roll. I think I rolled 8 d6s and said, if I get a 1 on them, I have ones that have a skull on them that I use for random encounters. So it's like if 1 comes up, then it's they're gonna wake up, and I didn't roll any. So I let them sleep in the meat room overnight, which is probably makes me soft. I get it,
That's okay.
but
They could have gone out in the desert and camped.
they could have gone out in the desert and camped. Yeah, absolutely. So I let them sleep in there. They did that. They kind of barricaded the door with meat or the entryway with meat and stuff.
And ant corpses.
And ant corpses, stacked them, and all that. So that was interesting. They get to the area with the I don't remember if you call them larvae or whatever, but they're about to hatch.
Yep.
And they Joe was like, nope, I go to the door or the next thing, and he's cutting that open. Which I love that you put a strength DC on cutting the goop in front of the door, for the doorways.
Yeah.
Because that a couple times came into play where it just it makes a couple extra turns go by. If they fail, and so it's just more time, and so more of a chance that a random encounter is going to get sprung. So
And just for the audience, that these are membranes, the goo in Alien, where these ants are secreting this stuff, and they're using it as barriers that they can move through without breaking it. So it's defending their hive essentially from invaders or anybody from getting in and stealing their stuff. But if you're the adventurer, you got to sit there and hack through it with a sword or something, with an axe.
Don't let it go to his head, Agile.
Roger points to something, and I end up doing it. That's what happens.
So they did okay. So they passed through, that area there with the larva, and I'm like, you can see something kind of, pinkish through there. Maybe it's, maybe there's a little bit of movement, whatever. I tried, and they were just like, nope, we're going through the door. We're doing the thing. So they get to the area where this is where they end up getting hurt. They got to the area where the 2 ants are going to go at it. The 2 ants are fighting.
Oh yeah.
And there's a 1 in 6 chance every round that they'll notice the party. Round 1, I rolled a 1. So
that's too bad.
They're like, yep. So they, now they're in combat. They got beat up pretty good, and that's why they ended up having to rest and stuff. All 3 of them decided to eat the meat that was in the room, which
as we should.
They were like, oh yeah, here's some rations. We'll just cook this up, and yep. So they all made Constitution rolls, and 2 out of 3 failed the Constitution rolls. Luckily, Andrew, the explorer, has the cure poison ability. I forget what it's called, but I think that's an explorer trait.
Yeah,
right? That's
I'm
the class.
going to the class page right now.
So
looks like it was anti-venom.
Yeah,
anti-venom. Okay.
Yep.
So and it said to cure poison or whatever. So I let him use that. So he cured 1, and then Joe took a hit point the next morning, and he rolled, and he was able to cure it there. We get So then they're like, okay, we're going. I rolled for a couple random encounters. Nothing showed up. They get into the upper chest area where the heart is, and I thought I was careful enough to describe the room and describe the pathways that the ants were taking, avoiding the heart and everything. And we had a player with Joe was like, "Oh,
Our door
this is
kicker.
well." He was convinced. Okay, this is where all the vibrations and the thrumming and everything. It's all coming from that. So he's like, "I'm running in there to try and hit the thing." I'm like, "Okay." So he runs in. He goes to swing at it, misses. I have him roll. It's a Constitution check, I believe, or be paralyzed.
Yeah, I was just looking at it. It's there's a surge that comes out that damage, but the Constitution check is to avoid being disoriented because the thing is
Yep.
vibrate. It's
so
the
much, yeah.
part of the golem that's still working. So
Yep.
like it's creating all of these vibrations in the air. That's what's part of what's messing up the ants is mutating them.
Yep.
And so as soon as you get like really close, it's like a flashbang type
Yeah.
effect on your head. Yeah.
And I thought I was really good. And Andrew, I mean, let me know, but like I thought I was
It
pretty
was
good.
very clear. It was
Right.
very,
Okay. It
very
was pretty clear. And he's like, "No, I'm running it." Like he thought, okay, if I hit this thing and break it, it's over, right?
Mind you, he was
And
a
so-
shaman with the least HP out of us.
So he runs up. I have him make the Constitution check. He misses, right? I let him get a swing on it because I figure if you're moving toward the thing, you know what I mean? You're in motion. Even if you
Yeah.
get frozen, you'll still, but whatever. He misses. He roll for the con check, fails the con check. So now he's paralyzed for whatever 2 rounds or whatever it is, or 1 round, I think. Andrew says, "Well, shit, I got to try and get him out of there." So he runs in there, grabs him,
I mostly didn't want him to hit it.
fails his Constitution check.
Yeah.
So then Randall, on his turn, he's like, "Oh, I got a rope. Can I like throw it at him and try and like wrap it around him and pull him out?" So I'm like, "Sure, make a dexterity check." He rolls like a 2. So like that's not happening. So a round goes by and then Joe is now free. And so what's the first thing he does? I want to swing at the thing. So I let him, so he swings at the heart and then it does. So obviously the thing, zaps him and Andrew who are right next to the thing. 2d6 damage. What did I roll? 11? 11 damage or something. 10 or 11 damage. They both die. I mean, yeah. And then Joe was like, he was like done. He was like, "No, like I'm at." He's like, "No." I was like, "You roll up another character if you want to roll up." Blah, blah, blah. He's like, "No, I can't. I'm done. Like that's it." Like okay. And so that was that. And Andrew was like, "Okay, whatever. Like let's just let Randall do the thing."
I wanted to see the rest of the dungeon.
Yeah, right. So he goes down the left arm, like he starts going like as far as he can go. And that I got to tell you, that down there is very well telegraphed.
Yes.
Ripped apart ants and everything. And this guy got it. He was like, "Oh, that means there's something more horrifying than these guys." Like, and he's like, "I'm going the other way." Oh, I tried to tempt him with the copper pipe. I was like, "There's a copper pipe." It's like, "What do you want to do with it?" Or whatever. And he didn't want to have anything to do with it. He didn't. I was hoping he was just gonna, lick his finger and touch it, but he didn't.
There's huge treasure value in this dungeon, but it's like a massive temptation puzzle. Like it's like I really want to do this thing. Like when you come, like the birthing chamber that you come into, where they're like just waiting there, and you were telling me like you would describe like you're trying to tempt them into touching it. If they
Yeah.
touch it, then like one hatches right away. Like
Yeah.
this would have been bad.
Yes. Yeah.
There's the meat that's contaminated. There's other parts of the goo that will give you hydration rounds also, in addition to the food. So it's like it's almost like carrying extra honey as a way of doubling up the two things. So all these different stuff, touching the metal pipe. It's all you just have to approach it in a smart way.
Yep. And then so he ended up coming back to the middle where the heart is, being careful to try and avoid, to go around the edge of the room and all that. At that point, I rolled a random encounter because it had been 3 rounds. And we got a random encounter. We got I think it was just one giant white ant.
Yep.
And it just killed them. They swung at each other back and forth a little bit, and it just killed them. And that's how we ended. Oh, he got paralyzed.
Yeah,
that's
he
right.
got paralyzed on the
He got
first hit. There was nothing you could do about it.
Yeah.
Well,
so
they didn't go down the left leg then.
No.
Oh, that's good. I'll leave that for people to find out about. Yeah.
No left leg, no right arm.
Yeah, each extremity have its own really unique thing going on.
Yeah. So I'm gonna run it again when Jason comes back. We'll see who wants to play. Maybe Edgelord will come out this time if Jason's back. I've been trying to get Mike out. Maybe Mike will come out one of these days. It's an hour, and I'm just not worth it. I'm not worth an hour drive.
Roger plays his game the same time, the same day that we run our game.
Yeah.
There's other games where that's like, for me, people are like, I'm running it Saturday night. I'm like, I am committed.
Yeah.
I cannot do anything Saturday nights.
So, I mean, maybe I'm biased because I was running the thing, but I absolutely loved I will call it a dungeon, right? I loved it. I think it's fantastic. I think it's well written. I think all of the dangers are very well telegraphed. And I definitely love all that stuff where, hey, here's this real cool thing that I'm describing. And you've got players that are like, should we touch it? What do we do with this? I don't know. Is this good? I love that stuff. So, I mean, I thought it was well written. I don't know. Andrew, what did you think of the, overall?
Of the dungeon itself, I loved it start to finish. Even Roger, when we were talking about it after the fact and going through what each extremity would have been and the pieces of the encounters that we didn't get to.
Yep. That's perfect.
I know I'm cutting out. I'm cutting out.
The heart right there.
I did.
That's where it happened. Yeah.
To keep it short, I was very impressed. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's awesome to hear, guys.
Yeah. No, it was really cool. I love that it's inside a falling golem like that. It's I don't know, it's just really cool. And it's something that like I thought it was interesting before I saw this because it's mentioned in the original ShadowSun, but it's just a little blurb. And did you have that planned out? Like, was this?
Yeah, I was going to do curse scroll type zines, however people want to talk about it. And the problem that this is a problem I've had my whole time I've ever been creating. By the time I get to the point where I want to make the second thing, I've changed my thought process so much that I want to change too many things. So I can't make an expansion to a game that I want to rewrite. It's a challenge. And I was thinking about what you were saying about the design elements of stuff. Well, people a lot of times be like, why do you make time to do YouTube videos? Because from a publishing perspective, it's not really a thing that pans out. Like a lot of people publish, they don't make YouTube videos about stuff. Sure. And I say, well, I make YouTube videos for me. Like going through the process of saying, this is why I think a room designed like this works. This is why I think a game designed like this works. This is how I think you should do it. It's for me to make sure. I'm a very analytical person. Like I come up with the structure. I say, this is what I want. So I've come up with, from doing the YouTube videos, like, I want the room to have a temptation to touch a thing. These are all the ways that you're telegraphing that. If I say, when I say I'm on a YouTube video, I say it's great for a room to have sight, sounds, smells, what does it feel like to walk through this room? So when I'm writing the dungeon, I'm trying to satisfy what Chubby Funsters, the reviewer, would say about this dungeon. So every element, like even the heart itself is incredibly high value object, way beyond what you'd think in a first level, second level dungeon, because I'm hoping that you would start off there, and then for level after level, your characters are like, we need to figure out a way to go back and get that heart out, because with first level, second level, we don't know how. If we get close, it stuns us. If we touch it, it kills us. And then come back later when you're like fifth level and drag that thing out there and become super, super rich because of that. Like, those are the kind of things I love to see in dungeon design.
Yeah.
And so, like, I try to live up to my own standard. It's easy to come out and say, I like that thing, I don't like that thing. I want to be able to say, I like this thing because of these 8 articulatable reasons, so that then I can go apply those 8 reasons to my own stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and and this dungeon, like I said, is great. I love, all the descriptions and stuff I think are very well thought out. I mean,
I had to calculate, what was the maximum number of times I could say mucus per page before it became too much mucus.
It's a lot. It's a lot. I'm reading through it now. A lot of mucus.
Yeah, I use words like fluids and membranes and things like that, so that I wouldn't have to just keep saying mucus. Yeah.
Well, no, it's mucous membranes.
Like all kinds of stuff like that, because there's different secretions that these ants, and some of them are secreting stuff that's opaque because they're trying to hide behind it. Others are secreting stuff that you can see through the different color. Some of it's edible, some of it's not. Like, how do you distinguish between these things? So I had to really tap into, like, how am I going to describe this so that the players know this is actually a different type of membrane than the one other. So, like, when they went into the birthing chamber, there's one membrane that's semi-transparent, and you can see the ants moving around on the other side. You don't know what they are doing or what kind of ants they are, but you can see them. The other one is opaque. Yeah. So there's like a mystery there. Like, should we go with the opaque one or should we go with the clean one? That kind of stuff. Like, every element of it. So the guy who made the map is Matt Jackson. He does some solo play stuff on YouTube. He hasn't made a video in a while, but he did a ton of mapping on blogs back in the Google Plus time frame, and he made this map for me. And the first thing when I sent him the kind of art direction for it, he was like, "You didn't jaquaze it," and I was like, "No, because I want it to be almost like a series of terrible decisions between two. Do I take the opaque membrane or do I go through this clear membrane that I can kind of see? Do I go in the direction of the humming or away from the humming? How am I going to make a decision about what to do?" So there's all these decision points in there where you're tempted to touch a thing. You're tempted between two different ways to go. Should I take the time to search this room because there's ants crawling through this structure? Like, they're going to get you if you hang out there for too long. Yeah. So that's just how I try to bring all that stuff. Yeah, I'm not going to Xander it. Sorry.
Oh boy.
I don't believe in that crap.
I would just be careful how many times you mention secretions. You might find yourself canceled.
I understand. I'm not worried about that.
No, it was really it was a fun time. Like I said, I'm definitely going to run it again and see,
Well,
see
that's
how
and,
it
and
goes.
I'm happy to get the positive feedback, but like the reason why
Yeah.
I put it out there
Yep.
to the Patreon people right now, and then eventually to drive through, is that I want the feedback. I want people to come back and say, "Hey, I think this particular place is too strong, or this is too weird, whatever." Because it's very hard to get good feedback in this industry. If you
Sure.
have people who are play testers, they they have kind of a not to overuse the word patron, but they have a patronage relationship with you where they want to please you. They don't want to come back and say, "Hey, this blew ass," you know. But
Yeah.
but people on drive through will be happy to tell you if it blows ass. So that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I want to get the feedback. I don't have any ego to hurt. I went through years and years of arguing religion and politics. I'm professionally trained in politics before I went into my current totally not politics job. But like, there's nothing you can say that will make my feelings hurt. It's
Yeah.
just not possible. Yeah. So I want all of the feedback, like the hardest core feedback you can get,
Sure.
because my goal with everything I do, with the Patreon, with YouTube, with writing stuff, is to get better at it. That's why I'm revising the thing in the first place. Is I feel like I'm way better at this than I was 3 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely do have a criticism. I was just saving that
Oh,
for
hit
later,
hit me.
um, but we other than there were some uh like numerical things and stuff. We'll make a list of that stuff. There's one table that says like D20 and it should be a D12. Like
Oh, that
there's
might
some
just be
minor.
typo. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a couple typos like that. I don't remember what room it is. There's a room that says at the top that there's 5 ants in there, but then in the description it says like giant white ants, and then there's 3 in parentheses. So I don't know
Yep,
if
I
that
see it in the
no.
Guardian Chamber. Those
Yeah, so
are
there's
usually cases where I wrote them. I wrote it as 5, and then I went back and changed one of them
yeah,
to 3,
changes.
but I
Yeah.
didn't realize it was in the other place
Um,
as 5.
but there was a few things of that. Andrew wrote some of them down. And we're gonna get together and compare notes, and we'll send all that stuff with you. I don't want to do a red line markup live on stream. I mean, that's just that's just ridiculous. My only complaint with the stuff that's in is, and this is not about the module or the dungeon, but the monster stats, or the in the bestiary.
Yeah,
You have stats for the queen stuff under every ant that's got like the queen,
yeah.
and it kills me that they're not just straight statted. They're
Oh,
they're pluses. And so what I found myself doing is going down and looking and then saying, "Oh, okay, the queen is +3 level, okay, +10 HP. Okay, now I have to look back up and go, okay, 8 plus." And it's not like the adding part that's a problem, right? Because that part's easy. But like when it says HP, +10 HP, like that's easy. Okay, it's 18. But like +3 AC, like it takes my eyes a second to go up and locate
yeah,
that, or +4 to attack. Like I saw that +4 to attack, and at first I thought it was +4, but then I was like, no, it can't be +4 to attack. It's got to be +6 to attack, because all the other pluses are pluses to the basic ant.
yeah. I get what you're saying. The reason why I developed that system is
Yep.
because most of them, I have more humanoids in this monster manual than I think any
Sure.
comparable thing. There's so many humanoids. There's insectoid humanoids. There's lizard. There's like, I think, 4 different lizard-based humanoids. All these different things, because I wanted it to have that tribal feel where there's
Sure.
really differences between these people that are living out in the desert. And so because there are so many humanoids, I make a base human. This is the lizard folk stat block, And then I can add a lizard folk shaman has these abilities on top of that.
Sure.
A lizard folk scion has these psionic abilities on top of that. And you can create, so you can kind of nest them like that. And from a layout and kind of ease of viewing it, it's easier to flip. If I started creating all those entries for each thing, it would make it twice as long
Sure.
of a space. And so
Right.
I'm trying to kind of economize on that. I know that Shadow Dark is about as thick as you can possibly get at A5 print size.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm trying to keep it at like 300 rather than 330 or 340 or whatever Shadow Dark is. And if I add all that stuff, I want to be able to give you more monsters. I want to be able to have, I have a Excel spreadsheet where I keep track of them all, but I mean, there's a ton of monsters, over more monsters in this than there is in Shadow Dark. So I wanted to give you a ton of monsters, and economizing on that is the way. Yeah, 154.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
get it. I understand completely what, the reasonings from doing it that way. But I mean, it's just from a GM standpoint, right? Like using it. Like
I think in the
it,
adventure, it might make sense for me to put the stat blocks
yeah, okay.
in there. But part of the thing, there's also Shadow Dark has mutations. It's already part of the base design. There's a huge psionic element to Dark Sun that I'm trying to preserve here as well. So I've created a totally different set of mutations for Shadow Sun, and all of the Shadow Dark base ones are technically compatible as well. So you could roll up a lot of mutant ants or whatever you want, right?
Yeah.
And have each one be different. So one of the things with the adventure is that it has a direction for the GM to just roll mutations however much they want to make each of these ants be warped by the heart in a different way. So I can't really stat block that out. I have to just wait for the GM to do it. So I totally see what you're saying. I just the higher purpose I feel is economizing the space. Shadow Dark is already very large font, space consuming thing. You have 300 pages, and if you converted it to Microsoft Word, it would be very much
pages.
fewer pages than that. Yeah,
it'd be 50.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, that was my only thing. Like looking it up as I was running the thing, I was, running the module. It was just like, oh, I got to do this, like, I mean, I say extra math, right? And it's not like it's a big deal, but it was just there. And I think I'd rather have the stats, but yeah, I mean, you're right. It's the monster manual thing. So, in the adventure, if it lists them with just the full stats or whatever, that'd be fine. I think. But thanks, Andrew.
Yeah, thanks, man.
We'll
yeah, absolutely.
We'll talk to you,
Sorry, I
man.
gotta cut out.
Thanks for joining us. He's gonna cut out and not come back this time,
cut
guys.
out, not come back for real.
For real.
All right, thanks, guys.
Take care, buddy.
Andrew.
Bye.
Yeah, like I said, that was really my only thing where I felt like I had to,
There's some things where
other than that,
no
everything else was laid
perfect
out.
answer. It's just trade-off. And I'm trying to innovate in ways that allow me to have more monsters in the same amount of space, more stuff, but more art even. There's a ton of art in here. I want to make sure we get it all out. There's art for monsters. There might be a page with 2 monsters that I have art for both monsters, and I'm trying to be like, which of these monsters is, and then put that art that I don't use somewhere else, so it's still being used. But just making those calls is tough.
Yeah.
So I know you talk about you're limited in space in an A5 format. Forget about the format, but why not just doing a monster book for it?
That's possible.
Because then you can add a lot to it.
Well, the long-term plan is I'll open up the map in I have to open it in Photoshop because the JPEG like Windows can't even zoom on it. It's too big. This is a enormous resolution, so it just takes time because I wanted to have 20-mile hexes, but still have the detail level for you to see the 6-mile hex underlay. And in
Nice.
order to get that, you got to go to a really high resolution. That's why, it's an illustrated map, so it can go that deep. I can't wait to see what it looks like in actual print. I haven't printed it yet because I'm waiting to do I'm doing all the text overlays myself, labeling all the stuff myself because I knew
Yeah.
it would take a lot longer than I didn't want to keep Glenn Seal on the hook while I came up with every single thing. But yeah, it's still loading in Photoshop. But there are 8 regions in the new map. And so what I'm going to do is have the base game and then a region 1, region 2, region 3 release after that where I go into. So like one of the regions is the homeland of the dwarves, right? So when I do that region, I will put all kinds of dwarf specific expansions into that, things that the dwarves have built that are only in their region, monsters that are specific to that region in some way, more focused. So the stuff that's in these books is going to be the generic, you can use this anywhere stuff. So the easiest example of this is factions. So Kelsey developed a faction system in Cursed Scrolls that I'm using for the most part, that same mechanical basis. And there are 5 global factions in this, like equivalent to like the Harpers or the Zentarim in Forgotten Realms. And they could be everywhere. They could be anywhere. But then in these regional books, I can release a whole bunch of factions that are just limited to one city or one sub-region in there, that if you're on the other side of the world, you're not going to run into them. They're only in that area. And I'm going to be putting monsters in like that to have a lot more. These monsters are only in this particular savanna or this particular salt marsh or whatever, that kind of thing. So you can get that, but a huge part of this has been cutting. Like, I have way more that I want to put in than I have the ability to do so just from a page count perspective. Another one from Agile. Golly.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother. Much appreciated.
Yeah. Wow. 52 years playing, 50 years as a GM. Wow.
That's awesome. Oh, all right.
Yeah.
So
Agile, you coming to CNY? Agile? Everybody wants to know. Edgelord wants to know, and he's yelling about it in caps. Oh, Chubby Funster, share the screen.
This is let me turn off the overlays. Okay, so
there it is.
As you can see, this is a huge, there's 8 regions here. Let me zoom in a little bit, but it goes fast, right?
I can do that. Yeah.
So if I go to not even 100, 75 zoom, like you can see the 6-mile hexes.
Oh yeah.
Underneath, right? So if I go over this way, like you can see this. There's a city state on this island. If I turn on the overlays, it's right here. So you can navigate on this map. I'm still putting all these things in. The Colossus is right there. Right.
So any chance when you release this that there will be a layered version of the map so you can turn on and off things that you want?
I'm going to definitely do that. I don't want to say negative anything about Gods of the Forbidden North because it's been fantastic in this respect. But one of the things is Rob had the map made by the same artist, Glenn Seal, he did the map for Dolmen Wood, and he's done other things. And there's a GM and a player version, right? Yeah. But on the player version, it doesn't have certain things that I think the players should start knowing how to do. So one of the first things I did when I started running the campaign was open up both maps in Photoshop and copying over something. So I made like a hybrid map that contained some of those things and others not. So I definitely appreciate that. From a print perspective, the print version is just going to be the everything possible on it. But
Yeah.
digital versions, yes, I will want to create a whole bunch of different. Now the problem is, like, even the JPEG is at such a high resolution. It's like it's over 100 megs just for the JPEG. So I got to be careful about what I host.
I don't have it on my
Um,
computer here, but even the Greyhawk map that I made that's up on Drive Through RPG, I mean it's like 14,000 pixels. The PSD file for that thing is hundreds and hundreds of megs.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I don't care how big it is. For me, as a DM, it's fully usable.
Yeah,
It.
I get it.
And
I love the ability to scroll it. I mean, Roger knows I've talked about building a new table with a TV in it, and I do
Yeah.
terrain and minis, so it's less for that and more for playing Call of Cthulhu. I could do handouts without having to spend a ton of money printing things, or playing ShadowSun, I could have your map there and be able to scroll in on a position, have it right in the middle of the table for everybody to see.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Ken asks, how do you manage roll charts for areas where the broader area has a set of monsters, but there are different subsets of monsters as we zoom in? What is the GM?
Everything
working
is
with one
managed
situation?
by whatever the master type is. So like there's a Savannah encounter table, right?
Yeah.
So if there's a Savannah in a region that has its own, I can provide a new encounter table for that region with those new monsters on it. And the GM can use whichever one that the GM could just decide every Savannah is the same, or they could go with that regional without any conflict.
Yeah.
The dungeons, for instance, are also organized into 8 types, including some types that I think people haven't really worked with before. The most dramatic of that is a shaft. So instead of having a traditional dungeon design where you've got like level 1, level 2, level 3, the shaft is a huge level column with small branches coming off, like tree branches. It's going down. This is like where they were trying to dig down to get metal a long time ago. So now it's an abandoned, almost like a nuclear silo from a visual perspective. So you can have flying monsters that are moving up and down. You've got players on 200-foot ropes trying to get down to a level where they think there's treasure. And all those things are going to be generated using a customized. Shadowdark has a really great random dungeon generating system. I'm building off of that so that like you're rolling for how deep the column goes and how many levels there are and that kind of thing. But it's different for each of there's 8 different types. So if I make new monsters for underground, I can say you only put these in deep caverns and shafts because otherwise it doesn't make sense. Or these go in burrows, like the burrowing ants would go in a burrow, right? Or make it so that the monster's tied to those kind of things.
Sure. A lot of people want to know where Jason is, and he refuses to
He's
make his
beloved.
own YouTube. We got to get Carpentry and Crusades going on
Yeah.
That
YouTube.
has to happen. That has to happen.
Yeah, we're gonna have to make it happen. There's just everybody's just asking.
Just
So-
make a Carpentry and Crusades YouTube channel.
Yeah,
And then post on CNY with like a picture of Jason and some topic and put it up there and see if he freaks out.
we'll just put all the shorts that I generate that have him in it. We'll just start putting them over there. And
Yeah.
he's gonna listen to this and he'll text me and say you're crazy.
And
But
Agile
that'll
just
be
made this
fun.
comment about Glenn Seal. It's totally correct. He was awesome to work with, and I would send him edits. I'm sure it was annoying at some point of I'd really like this to look like this, but that's the whole point of getting illustrated map. It looks exactly what you want rather than it being generated off of some kind of templates and tile set or something. So it's awesome.
Yeah, no, and the map looks gorgeous. I mean, it really looks fantastic. I like it, like better than a lot of people use like a hexographer or something where you're just kind of rubber stamping the hexes. And like the other side of that is you have somebody draw like a map, and then you just overlay a hex kind of thing over it. But I like what you have is like the happy medium where it's drawn 4 hexes.
That's why I picked it.
It looks different.
My
Yeah.
experience with Gods of the Forbidden North is that it was so useful. That's the thing. The utility of it is the man. Yeah, it's beautiful, but the utility is what works. And
Yeah.
to me, that's one of the things. It's like there's all sorts of maps for Dark Sun. There's a lot of modules and stuff for Dark Sun, but most of the Dark Sun content is designed to be narrative, in that like you're going through it as in scenes, like a drama. It's not a hex crawl in the kind of keep on the Borderlands tradition. And I wanted to make ShadowSun work that way. And so to do that, I needed that map to be that way, and I needed all sorts of mechanical things using the way that Shadow Dark does to manage the hexes, to create dungeons wherever you need them to be able to say, I'm going to head 3 hexes in that direction and just see what's over in that canyon over there. There's something over there. And even within there's a gazetteer element within the player book that goes through each of the 20 city states and things that your players already know. Like that there's a mining town to the southwest of this city state, and that's where they're getting their iron from, or that's where they're getting their flint or whatever, some kind of useful thing. Or over here is where they're getting their food from, so that the players can have somewhere to start, some ideas to figure out, I think we should go to this place that I like, rather than the GM having to provide all of that as exposition right out of the gate. A huge amount of things to go through. So the players already come with some knowledge if they read the book. That's a subject of debate on the internet, how many people actually read the book when they play a game. But that's I'm trying to design it so that it can be a Dark Sun inspired thing, but it doesn't have to be a narrative scene drama. You can do it like a hex crawl where I don't know what's out that way. I'm going to go out that way and explore and find out.
Yeah. You mentioned the players reading the book, and that's one of the reasons I think I'm drawn to that we could do a whole episode on this. But that's why I'm drawn to things like Shadow Dark, where like it's not you're not asking people a whole lot. Like if I was to run Acts 2, right? Like I need, and I said I've told people I would run it, but I would need buy-in from all my players. And like with that, you need the commitment where people are actually going to read the book. Like, because I can't do everything for everybody. They got to figure out the economies and all that stuff. Where Shadow Dark, it's easy, where it's like, okay, if they just skim the section, you know what I mean, the basic how to play section, they're good.
And having it in the format, the A5 with larger font, it makes it so that the designer has to really economize on how they present, right? So you've got a 1 page, you've got like 2 little paragraphs and a D20 table. You have to make sure is everything I've put in this paragraph essential, or is there crap in here that I can trash and I can put more stuff in there that I want to do? That's why I work. I do all my writing already in layout in InDesign, because it forces me to say I have this much space. The art takes up this space. The chart takes up this space. I can only have 3 paragraphs. What goes? And cut it. And if there is something that I feel has to be in there, I can make an adjustment. But just the visual force makes you say, it makes you, everything you write carries a cost. And that's true no matter how you produce the book. You just might not feel it, because you can write an infinitely long book And then when you release it, people are like, I'm not reading that. And they
Yeah.
won't buy it. You don't see, they won't pay the price. You have to be really conscientious about what you're including. I made a rules system for ShadowSun of how to handle a holding. Like you're going to be in charge of this farm. You're going to be in charge of this fort, whatever it is, right? And I got that onto one page. I could have written a dozen pages of that, but people won't read a dozen pages. They will read one page where it defines some terms and it says, these are the things you need to know how to interact with. And that's it. I'm not going to create a whole huge rule system for you to do. This is all you got to know to run this. And I feel like that every element is like that. Like some of these things is like, I have one line. The column for the D20 roll number is taken up, but then I just have one line on this chart. That's all you have for whatever it is, and it has to fit so you get rid of everything that you don't need. It's an amazing freedom in that, but it's also a burden. You got to really you got to really work at it.
Yeah. That's like one thing that I'm like terrible at is trying to, like, I end up trying to summarize things, that not that I'm writing for publication or whatever, but I'm writing my own stuff, modules or dungeons or, descriptions or whatever. I always try and get it down further and it ends up just getting bigger. I don't know.
I know how it goes. Yeah.
But, and then my notes,
my problem is not writing. I can write all day long. The problem is cutting, making it fit, making it work. Is this how I want it to be?
Yeah. It's a big problem. I mean, that's, and then obviously when I run even my own stuff or other people's stuff, I'll go through it and just write, you just write down the keywords, or whatever that's in certain rooms. But with a lot of the Shadow Dark stuff, and I mean, it started with Kelsey, and it's good to see, the creators kind of still following that kind of mindset of, okay, less is more, type of thing. Obviously you're doing it, and I've seen some other Shadow Dark content out there that's similar.
I believe in designing it for a GM who hasn't even read the adventure, right?
Yeah.
Because it's wonderful if the GM does have time and they can read the stuff, they can prep it up, they can do stuff. But there's a lot of times where the players head in a direction you weren't expecting, and you need something to be there. And if there's 8 paragraphs there, that's really hard to load into your brain in a second. And so, like, I really like Kelsey's way of doing dungeon room descriptions, where right up at the beginning you can be reading that to your players, basically improvising it as you go through the thing. It's all designed for, and it's not you don't have to read it exactly the way, because it's just keywords and stuff, and you put it together, and then you have a moment to breathe while the players figure out what they're going to do with that initial description. You can read the other stuff, but you do not need to have read all of that content.
Yeah.
And yet there's so many great things you can say about Caverns of Thracia, all sorts of great things. But then there's some rooms where there are 2 paragraphs of description before you get to the thing you really should say first. And you get all the way through there and you go, oh yeah, and there's a white right next to you. Like, holy shit. Like, you should have said that at the front,
lead with that.
Up there. So I'm coming from that perspective. Like, it needs to be as easy as possible to run, because there are going to be times when you can't. You just don't have time to read it ahead of time, and you have to run it right there. You have to roll off that table and go with whatever it says right then.
Yeah. And I also like the keywords, and I've seen you doing this, and I'm sure other people do it too, but the running this thing is recent in my mind, but the keywords are bolded.
Yeah.
So like the sound, smell, Like, oh, you look at it and you go, oh, there's a sound in this room. What's the sound like? Or, oh, there's a smell in this room. Okay. And then you look down and you're like, oh, okay, it smells sweet. Or, oh, and you know what it is, but it's right
Yeah.
there. So, oh, these are the keywords of, what I need to describe and what I need to convey to the players, uh, you know, in the room, for this room. And I mean, it's fantastic. And I think Shadow Dark has come a long way, especially if you look at, like the older modules. And I know we all joke about some of that stuff, but back then they didn't know what people were going to use or what people were going to do. So they just statted everything. And so you got, a room with a cabin
Right.
and they list out every single thing and like how much XP the dog is worth and like how many copper coins, the farmer has hidden under the floorboards and like, the whole thing. It's just a town you're passing through, but just in case, we got a full stat, everything. So that was kind of interesting. I don't know what's going to happen if I try and turn my camera around. I'm going to try and do this and show you what I got on the table here. I don't know if you guys will be able to hear me though, but well, I can kind of let me do this. We're going for a ride here.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, there's my air conditioner.
No.
So that right there,
Oh wow.
Oh wow!
Yes.
Awesome.
the head, and that's a guy. That was the heart there, and that's kind of just a piece of his arm there that I had laying there.
Yeah,
But that's
that's
all
the-
that I could fit on the
That's
table.
the place that was telegraphed as being very dangerous.
Yeah,
That hand.
yeah. And so that's kind of what I had. So I had this there, and then I had his two legs that I cut separate, and then I had the two arms that were kind of cut. But it really enlarged fairly well. I mean, you can look at the
Yeah.
detail, and it's
Matt did a great job with the map.
yeah. So it's really cool. And so that's what I did. And like I said, I just printed out on like, whatever, like 30 sheets of paper, and, not 900% worked for me. It was perfect. And you could see the squares are, 1 inch squares. I didn't have any ants, so I just had some spiders. So I used those, but yeah. Yeah, Roger needs a PTZ camera. Yeah, that's correct. All right, I'm going to spin this thing back around. Sorry if I'm making you guys dizzy. There's my wonderful shelves with all my stuff and a bunch of books and everything. You guys don't get to see this. This is special stuff here. All right, anyway. Settle that back down over there. So that was show and tell with
That
Roger.
was great.
Thanks
That's
for
cool.
but yeah, it was perfect. And I just measured it. I just printed out. And then the easy way to do it, I mean, I know you could do it with trying to figure out the pixels, and all of that. I've done that with math, but all I did is print it out at the actual size. And then I took a ruler and I measured how many squares were in an inch. And it turned out to be 9. So I just did it at 900%. So,
Interesting.
yeah.
Did I tell you how I did it?
Chubby's got to get going. So, I don't want to hold you up if you got to run. I just saw the message.
Yeah. I told my wife we had a 2-hour time slot, and we're in the process of moving, so I have a guy coming to pick up a very heavy thing that I need to help him load in his van. So.
Yeah. Well, I thought you had kids for that.
I do. I have a 15-year-old who's very strong. But the question is, do I trust the integrity of my door?
Yeah, I know.
I'm
with you.
15-year-old with a very heavy object, and that I don't know.
Thank you so much for coming on. We would love to have you again. We'll talk. I'm sure. Hopefully you enjoyed it and you have fun talking to us. I mean, Jason will be back next time, so
I know he's a big fan. I'm happy to
he's a big fan.
Heard his kind words. One of the things with being a small producer is sometimes typos and little things slipped through, and he's found some things and told me about. I'm happy to hear about them. Like it's super hard to do it. There's kind of a cost of editing that I wasn't able to afford back when I did the player companion and the quick starts. Like when you said you found the D20 when it's a D12 table, like I haven't sent these through editing yet because I'm still in the process of building everything. So there's things that it's super hard as a small producer to find stuff, and much appreciated it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we'll get you a list. Next, I think I'm going to try and run this at some point.
Well, do you see? I got right over my shoulder here. I've got a bunch of them that I'm going to be taking to North Texas and giving away.
Nice.
I'm a horrible salesperson in a personal space. I can't do the salesy conversations and push product. It's just not my way of doing things. So what I do is I just take a whole bunch of books, and when I meet people I like at a con, I hand them a book and I say, "Hey, this is what I do. See you later."
Nice. Yeah.
So yeah, that's all I do.
I really have yet to play like a VTM game. And I mean, that's not entirely true though. I was invited to a VTM game years and years ago, and it ended up just being people doing vampire cosplay, LARPing. I mean, and I don't know, they didn't have any rule books or anything. So I don't really consider that.
Well, Shadow City is, I had the idea a long time ago of ways of doing kind of like a dungeon crawl in the buildings.
Yeah.
So that basically the city becomes a network of connected dungeons. And then over the time with Shadow Dark, I thought of all these ways of creating those spaces using the randomization tools. So
yeah, it's fantastic.
You can just draw lines and nodes and build out whatever size building you need and all this kind of stuff. So it does not play like Vampire the Masquerade. It plays more like really more like Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines, the video game. Like there's dungeons. You go in and clear these dungeons and get cool stuff.
We'll have to get you on to talk about it. I don't want to hold you up. I mean, we'll keep talking forever. Chris says that you need to go on Bad News Bars.
I know Chris invited me on it. Chris is running a Dark Sun convention in October, and called Dark Sun. I'm going to be there to run some ShadowSun.
That's fantastic.
It's in Tennessee. I want to say Memphis, but I'm bad with remembering stuff like that. It's close enough I can drive there. That's the only criteria that exists in my brain at this point. Yeah, and I'll be there running ShadowSun Knoxville. There you go. So I'll be there running ShadowSun. I'm gonna play Dark Sun games. Yes, I'm terrible with that. I'm terrible with names. I'm at my maximum capacity for remembering names. It's just it's very hard. But yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna go. Thanks for the talk, guys. It was great to be here.
Thank you so much.
Well, listen to you guys every week.
We'll have you on again soon. Take care.
See ya.
So yeah, that was that's awesome. That was really cool. ShadowSun. It was really a fun time running it. I really like that it's like in the desert, you're looking for water, the whole thing. I mean, that really adds to it. But it's not everybody's bag, They don't want to be out in the desert and, looking for water and all of that. But I was okay with running it, but we'll see. When Jason comes back, we'll run it. Mike, maybe we'll get you out. Maybe we'll do it on a Saturday or something.
Maybe.
We'll figure out.
Maybe Roger.
Maybe
we'll figure out a time, or maybe your Sundays might free up.
They might. The way things are going, who knows?
You seem to be losing people. It's right. So
it comes down to they're animals. I had two groups that don't like each other, and even though they're not playing
Yeah.
together, still seem to be arguing with each other.
Yeah,
Jesus
that's
Christ.
crazy.
That's crazy.
So
Yeah,
so I know, obviously we were ShadowSun, but now Chubby's gone and we've got time to kill. I got a question. Have either of you guys ever dealt with Talasaurian games?
yes,
So I've been looking at Cyberpunk in 2020 in red and looking at the difference because I want to play a Cyberpunk game, but I really don't want to play Shadowrun. I don't want to have
2020.
elves. I don't want to have what?
2020.
Wait, hold on. I'll tell you. Hang on.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Yes, I know you're going to say that because 2020 is the old school version, but there's certain things like Netrunners in 2020 that just don't work. They don't with the group. Where Red changed it, so like Netrunners can be incorporated with the group just fine, and they don't have to do their own thing. There's things about it. Obviously, Red is the newer version.
Sure.
There's one thing I know. Listen, some people are like, absolutely, I gotta have the black and white, non-glossy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's D&D. But when I look at 2E Shadowrun, and you look at that old art from the early '90s and the black and white, some of it has a nostalgic feeling to it, and some of it is just like, ugh. And when I look at 2020, I looked at the PDF for 2020. It's exactly the same. It feels like Shadowrun from the '90s.
But you don't have
because it's Cyberpunk from the '90s.
It's humanocentric. I mean,
Right.
there's no
When you-
orcs and elves and magic. And
when you
all that
when you look at Red is new, and you see it. It's modern design. I get it that 2020 is better than Red. If you took an entire group that had never played Cyberpunk, most people say Red is the good entry point.
So
and then if they like the system and they want something crunchier,
there you go, Ken.
2020.
There you go, Ken.
Yeah.
Cities without number. Boom. Kevin Crawford. It's a D20 based combat and stuff. 2d6 skills. So here's the thing, right? I bought the Cyberpunk Red box set.
Yep.
I ran that. I ran the adventure in there for a couple people. Then I ran I believe we created new characters. And then I ran maybe 5 or 6 sessions online. It was fine. It was fun. Red seemed, especially during combat, it seemed like it just seemed more fiddly. There was more things, more moving
everything
parts.
I read says the opposite. Everything I read said Red is more streamlined, and 2020 is very much more fiddly.
I haven't played 2020 in, I don't know, 15 years or whatever it's been. You know what I mean? A long, long time.
Yeah.
And I wasn't running it. Somebody else ran a few sessions. But running Red, like, I don't know. I remember 2020 being more smooth. I could be wrong. I could be wrong on that because it's been a while, right? And maybe we cut corners and, but, I don't know,
we have a Shadowpunk. Death Angel.
Yeah, we have a Shadowpunk. There you go. Good. I was going to grab it, but we have a Shadowpunk.
It's not,
we have it.
It's not final yet. This is a beta that I have in my hands, but
it's William.
But it's William Dvorak. William Henry Dvorak. He was a big Greyhawk guy. Now he's writing stuff for Shadow Dark. He still does Greyhawk stuff, but he's more focused on his own stuff. He's doing Shadowpunk, and my only concern is, dude, it's like mixing your peanut butter and chocolate. I love peanut butter and chocolate. I don't want fucking orcs in my Shadowpunk.
Sure, no, I agree.
I don't want orcs and trolls and dwarves and elves, and I don't want my fantasy. I don't want magic in it. I just want Shadowpunk.
I'm with you 100%, Mike.
I want cyber add-ons. Like the whatever they call it, the cyber
not
tech
that
from
Dvorak, not that Dvorak, a different Dvorak. No, I agree, Mike. That's one reason why I never liked Shadowrun, because I didn't like that somebody just mixed all the things. And like, I'm a big proponent of crossover with sci-fi and fantasy, but like it just seemed way over the top um with Shadowrun. But yeah,
To
even Dan
answer
Dan says the same thing.
to
Get the
answer
demo humans out.
to answer Death Angel, yes, it does use the Shadow Dark rules.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it does. Um, you know, I've got Neon Skies. You might like that, Mike.
So maybe I
That's a
was. So listen, this is another one that was recommended to me. Shoot, I gotta find it again. Give me a second. So
Neon
I know you are
Neon.
not a fan. You've told me you are not a fan of Savage Worlds.
Yeah, it just wasn't my thing. I bounced off.
Well,
of it.
one thing
No.
one thing with Savage Worlds is I've heard it's very good. It's called Darwin's World Nuclear Edition. It's made for the Suede, the current edition of Savage Worlds, and it's post-apocalyptic. It's I think the main thing is like 492 pages, but then
Wow.
and that's the core book, but then there's setting books and maps and all kinds of stuff for
Sure.
it, and it's been around forever. It started as a D20 and then moved on to like Explorer edition of Savage Worlds, and now the Nuclear edition is part of the Suede. And I don't mind Savage Worlds because I like the idea of you attack things, but they have armor. So every hit that you do may not actually do damage. So it allows
Yeah.
for some epic gunfights where D&D, if I roll and hit, you're getting you're taking damage. It's going to be fast. So it allows for a little more kind of epic types of fights. But
Edgelord says, since everyone likes Pirate Borg, anyone tried Cyborg? I have. The problem with the Mork Borg games is I think they're great for like a few sessions. If you're gonna try and run anything long term, I don't think they're that great. I mean, I think for one shots, I think they're absolutely fantastic. And I think for if you're gonna do a short, like a large module type of thing or something like that, I think they're fine. But I think any longer than that, they just don't have enough meat on the bone, I guess. That's you know. Oh, Ken mentions Cities Without Numbers. Has he mentioned that one? Yeah.
I've heard of it, but I don't know.
I mean,
So-
that's up
so-
to you, Mike. I think it's a decent system.
So
Cities
just
Without
to give you an idea, I'm gonna post a link for you in the private chat. This is on Drive-Thru.
Yeah.
And that is from Misfit Studios, who happens to be they make Darwin's World. You can look at that link right there and see just the sheer amount of stuff for it. And it's got all these little $1 and $2, whether they're archetype classes or they're little mini adventures. I don't know. I was somebody mentioned it to me, so I haven't really looked at it much yet. I'm going to pick up the main PDF and look at it and see. But I really am in the mood to play a cyberpunk and a post-apocalyptic type game. So
Yeah.
I'm just looking for the right system for them because.
Have you looked at Mutant Year Zero?
I haven't looked at Mutant Year Zero yet. So if I buy Mutant Year Zero, I am not going to buy the robot or the animal races book. I don't want either of them.
I have both. They're good. I haven't really used both of them. We use the main book, but
I figured I'd just buy the main book and go that way.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's all
listen,
you need.
Mutant Year. I can't even talk tonight.
Yeah.
Mutant Year Zero is what really put Free League on the map.
Yeah, I mean, it was their first game.
That was their first game, and half of their
Where
systems
game
are
engine
based
came
off
from.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I like it. I think it's cool. I was a player in a Mutant Year Zero game. It was fun. It's tough. Like it's not a superhero game at all. It's fighting for everything. But I mean, you have, every character has mutations. You can get more, and they can develop, and
Yeah.
it's neat.
I've never, to answer Ken, I've never tried any of the without numbers games. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't even know anything about them. The part of the thing that turns me off about Telesaurian Games is when you go and look at their site, PDFs do not come with anything that you order. I looked at the
Really?
red. Yeah. So if you buy the physical book, you get the PDF for half price. So like the red book is $60 and the PDF is 30, right? So say you're going to get the PDF for 15, but if you buy the red book, I just looked at it, put it in the cart, it's $15 shipping. So it's $75 just for the core book. And then you're going to pay another 15 if you want the PDF plus tax. I don't know, man. That's
Yeah.
a lot of money for a single core book for a system.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah. Same
Yeah.
thing with they just released Night City 2045, which is, let's see, on drive through, I'm looking at it. It's 312 pages. It's an entire source book for Night City. They, leading up to it, I read all the posts about it. Everybody said how amazing it's going to be, how it's like 600 locations, stores, clinics, headquarters. I'm reading it off the page here. Corporate fortresses, mega buildings. They're all mapped out. It gives you a million things for like you want to run adventures. It's got 44 gangs, 6 criminal organizations, 23 security providers. I mean, you could run a whole campaign with it. But again,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
$30 PDF and a $60 book.
Yeah,
So
it's ridiculous.
yeah, I mean, so
Yeah,
you're
that's
spending
crazy.
90. So now, if you bought that book in the core, you're spending $180 for 2 books in PDFs.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah,
I can't. That's
Dan is
that.
saying, yeah.
That just turns me off. That's gonna make me look elsewhere. I don't mind
I
spending
really
money,
thought
but
that I really thought that they gave you the free PDF.
yeah, I mean, in today's day and age, in 2026, PDF should be included with every physical book you buy from any company. There's no reason not to.
Yeah.
I agree.
Ken sent me the link for the free version of Cities Without Number. I posted that in the chat, and I will also post it in the private chat.
Okay.
If you wanted to download that.
Yeah, I
and
got
check
it right.
that out.
I'm in drive through right now. I just added it to my cart. Grab it and check it out. Yeah, I don't care which system I do as long as it has the stuff I want. I mean, obviously Cyberpunk seems to have it all, but it's been around for 30 plus years.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll see.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not huge into like the Cyberpunk.
I've never been
games
into
and
it
all that stuff.
before, but I just have this craving all of a sudden. I even thought about yesterday buying 2077. It's on sale right now on Steam with the deluxe version with the expansion for like $38. And I'm like, I buy that,
Okay.
start playing that game. It'll at least get me the feel of it and decide if it's something I really want to do.
Yeah. I don't know. It's I don't know. I would run it. I want to run that Shadowpunk. I want to run that and see how that goes. I know that's a different. That's kind of a different thing, but because it's Shadowrun stuff. But
I like everything about it except for the races. I mean, you could throw them out, I guess.
Yeah,
you could throw them out, I guess. But I don't know. With other games, there's probably features in it, a character creation to make up for the fact that to make everybody different. Where in like Shadowpunk or Shadowrun, I would imagine if you want to make them that much different, it's going to be a racial selection and then a class selection.
Yeah. I don't know. I think if I were to run a Cyberpunk game, like I would want to try Neon Skies.
Maybe I'll try this.
That's what I would run. There you go.
That's part of why I bought this, because I was like, let me go watch them both again.
I mean, Blade Runner's not bad. Paul asked if you'd throw the magic out as well. I mean, I would. I mean, I don't
want magic in it. I just
Yeah, so you just definitely don't want Shadowrun because
right. That's
why. If you take out the races and the magic, you pretty much just gutted the entire setting.
So I played Shadowrun about
Johnny Mnemonic. Remember Johnny Mnemonic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I played
We were
2
playing Shadowrun when that came out,
Nice.
for a little bit.
Yeah.
We didn't play it very long because we didn't like the system. But
I only played.
the guys I played, we loved the setting, but like we hated the system.
Yeah, I only played two sessions of it back in the day, and what I didn't like was the combat. We played 2E. I didn't like having freaking 30 d6s for everything you do. And I don't really remember much about the races in it. I remember the DM. The DM was actually pretty good. He was my roommate at the time, and he got me to play with him with their group, and I really liked it. We were basically, we got hired on for, to go. We basically infiltrated some corporation and stole some stuff, and he had it all laid out with some maps, and we had to plot out our whole thing, and then we executed it, and it was fun. Um, but now when I look back at it, I'm like, and then I see all the races and I see that stuff. I'm like, I don't want to play that. I don't want the magic in it. I don't want the trolls. I want to do that. I'll play D&D. I want something totally different from that type of game.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I don't know. It's just not really my jam. Like I said, I like Neon Skies would be that's like the next one that's on the list for me.
Now,
We did the Blade Runner thing. We played some of those. Those are fun. But I don't know if I would run that.
So Neon Skies is
It's William Buchanan. It's Wylock's Armory on YouTube.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Actually, I saw one of his videos talking about it, but I didn't really pay attention. I'll have to look into it. It's not on drive-through.
Oh, really?
Well, I typed in Neon Skies and it didn't come up, but
Yeah, I'm not sure where he has it.
well, let me just Google it and see.
Then, because I got it from
He's got a Neon
Kickstarter.
WyloxArmory.com. Neon Skies
okay.
RPG.
I see. Yeah, and there's WyloxArmory.com. Yeah, okay.
Huh.
But it's a simple system. It's a D6 pool, but you're just looking for a 6. If you get a 6, at least 1 6, you succeed.
It's like the Year Zero engine.
And that's it. Yeah, it's very simple simple thing. Oh, look at that, Dan. Dan he backed Singed, and it was his 100th backed Kickstarter.
Dang.
Wow,
Oh,
congratulations. You're gonna have to catch up, Dan. I don't know if you've seen my list, but you got a long
Roger's
ways
got
to go,
100 back this week.
I got 100. I'm not sure what I'm up to. Do I want to know?
No, you don't.
Do I want to know? I'm going to look
Scary.
anyway. What do we got? Why is that a red bar up there?
The Dragonbane
some
stuff is
information.
coming out next month. It's going to be delivering in May, so we probably won't see it until June or so.
Oh boy. I didn't back that stuff, thankfully.
I'll be right back.
What the hell's wrong with you?
I don't know. I don't know.
The best overall game out
back
there,
that.
and you don't back that. But
Well, I mean, I just didn't 648 is my number.
good Lord.
648. That's where I'm at. No, I just there's certain things for Dragonbane that I want to play. Trudvang looks really cool, so I'm in on that.
It's just
But-
extra stuff for it. The
Yeah,
one complaint I see about Dragonbane, the regular core Dragonbane, is
Yeah.
people complain about the magic, how there isn't enough. I think they're mostly a bunch of whiners, but
Wow.
there's a whole book coming out about it. So like
Yeah, I
7
didn't
or 8 new schools, and yeah, Dragonbane's
I-
awesome, dude.
I didn't get
It's
it.
a great game.
You can Yeah, all right.
Unbelievable.
All right. I'm sorry. Jesus.
Disappointed.
Oh my God. No, I get it. Dragonbane's amazing. Yeah. Yeah. I get it. It's a fun time. Yeah. Wow. Wine too much. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know. It's fine. I think I would run it, for like a small campaign. so I don't think I need like a whole magic book and a whole bunch of stuff.
No, I mean,
guess,
if you're only going to run it for like an adventure,
know,
like that's also
yeah,
that's an adventure. Like 5 or 6 sessions is an adventure. That's not a campaign.
yeah, like big thing. Sure,
Yeah, the
sure,
core book's fine. The core
sure,
book's fine.
and that's what I want to do. Hopefully, like Trudvang, like
Yeah,
I want to
I'm
run
looking
like
forward to that.
half a dozen sessions of that. I think when I get it, I mean,
Yeah,
think
I
about
think
how
it
much I
unlocks
bagged it for, but
some big adventure for it. I mean, kind of like even Dragonbane. It
yeah,
comes with a campaign, and then they have the additional campaign that you can play afterwards. I guess they're not really connected, but you can connect them.
yeah.
And
I mean, you can
True Bang will have
connect
True,
a lot of
yeah,
that stuff.
not a big deal. Yeah, it's yeah. I mean, that's probably my favorite overall system, but or game that I play currently. Like,
Come here.
Yeah,
so I'm looking forward to that stuff, but we probably won't see it until
Yeah.
at least like June. They said it's in the shipping process, so they expect it to start hitting the fulfillment
yeah.
centers in May, and then probably won't see it until June.
I must not have been interested. I don't know.
I remember
I
I
must
remember
have,
me, you, and Jason going like back and forth on it.
Yeah.
What is it you backed? Hey,
The
get out of there.
the Dragonbane Kickstarter with the magic book and the city
Oh yeah.
book.
yeah, yeah. I didn't do that. Chris, thanks for coming.
Roxy.
Good to see you. Hey guys, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe. My channel, Decato's channel, Troll Done Painting, and Mike's channel, Thunderstruck Workshop, to see
Please do.
more clips of his dog eating treats on
Yeah,
stream.
my wife's in Vegas, so usually when we have stream on here, she'll take her upstairs or whatever. But she's been sitting in there bored. I went out to use the bathroom and she was all over me, so I figured I'd bring her back here and give her some treats.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, Dan. I don't know why I didn't back it. Usually, like Jason was backing it too, and like so he's in like 95% of my games that I run. So, like, I mean, if he's got it, I mean, if I need it, I can just get it from him. So, not a big deal. But
I think
I had-
at the time, I think we hadn't beaten you down enough where you were like, "Oh, I'm going to run this at some point." I think you were at the stage where you didn't want to run it. You were
maybe,
like-
maybe
and then it was after that we broke you.
that was before I ran a couple one shots with it and was like, oh
Yeah, this is bad.
Excuse me a minute. She's decided to.
yeah,
She wants more treats and she's trying to dig into the bag now.
yeah.
Gotta get her out of here.
Yeah, because I remember when I came up to see you, I was still more not really like against it. I mean, I still don't like the roll under thing. I just I'm not a big fan of that.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah, I don't mind it.
yeah.
I mean, it's
I don't know. I just
it's basically the way to look at it is it's like Call of Cthulhu, except you use a D20 instead of percentile dice.
yeah,
Pretty much what it is.
which is still roll under. I don't know. I'm kind of looking forward to Broken Empires when that comes out.
What's
That's
that about?
it's the me, myself, and die guy, I believe. I think that's him. He made an RPG. It's percentile roll under, but it's roll as high as you can under
Oh.
the number. And so, and then he uses the tens digit or the ones digit as the hit location. So like you can easily figure out like where, like what's damaged.
That's cool.
It's so that might be Trevor something or other. Yeah, thanks, Dan. Trevor, yeah. But anyway, but that looks neat. Yeah, Dan, Call of Cthulhu divided by 5. That's
Basically.
pretty much Dragonbane. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Did it? For some reason, I've got this up in a window. I don't even know why. Did you ever see Cyberdark, the Kickstarter? It's
Yes.
a Shadow Dark.
Yes, I have it coming.
Oh, do you?
I have
So
a
you don't
common
like
name.
that stuff. You don't like that stuff, but you bought it anyways.
The special edition red cover looked really cool.
Oh,
Had to have it.
so
I had to
you,
have it.
yeah. So
No, I'll run it. I mean, I'll run it. I mean, I'm not a huge like fan. Like that's not my go-to setting. I mean, there's settings that I hate more than that,
dude, that's
or that I just
$170 for the Duster Red Edition.
stop it. So I mean,
Jesus, dude,
like
you got a
I'll
problem.
run Cyberpunk before I'll run a Western.
Well, it depends. I mean,
You know, I don't
So-
want to run a Western. That's not
yeah,
my
but
gig.
what about a Weird West?
I'll run a Weird West over a regular West, but Weird West doesn't. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I don't
that's
really
still
want.
lower. I think I'd rather run Cyberdark than, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah, Dan is the opposite. He'll run a Western before Cyberpunk, especially if it's Weird West. Yeah, I mean Weird West. If I'm going to run a Western game, it's going to be Weird West. But I mean,
That's why
You
I
know.
like Deadlands. I like the setting.
that's going to be on my tombstone, Paul. Yeah, I
I
mean,
either way.
I get
could
a
go
lot of
either way
people
on
like
that.
the Western stuff. I'm not a fan. I mean, it's just not my gig, you know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I
it's
don't
just
think
not
I
something
would
I
find
wanna play.
myself just playing a regular Western. I mean, Weird West is a different thing. It's like D&D in the West. You got monsters, you got crazy stuff going on.
Sure. But yeah, I mean, it's just still one of those things that I just don't know if I'd, you know, I don't know. I mean, I have run Western stuff before, but it's just not my thing.
I mean,
You
come
know.
on, man. What's better than frickin', Yetis charging at the Cowboys?
Right. Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah,
some of
and-
that stuff, some of the Deadland stuff, though, like you're far removed. Like some of it's farther removed from Western.
Well,
I mean, it's like
so-
D&D with guns. I mean, at some point.
So
you know?
it's
Right.
listen, it's an alternate, an alternate Civil War that
Sure.
dragged on, and if I remember correctly, it was basically the Native Americans decided to do some ritual to try and drive, to end the war and drive them out, and it went wrong, and magic went crazy and splintered the world and opened it up, and all this stuff went crazy. We started off playing Blood Drive, which is it's like a cattle drive adventure, and it starts off normal, but very shortly into it, the very first session, they end up in a shootout, like shootout at high noon, and one of my players decided to do it, and they're fighting a guy that was way harder than them, and of course we're using Savage Worlds. He got lucky and had exploding dice and ended up killing this guy, that really he had no business even fighting. He thought he was going to die,
Yeah.
and he ended up winning it. And that was kind of cool. They liked that, and it kind of hyped him up. But then, later in that session, towards the end of the session, there was a point where some cattle had gone missing, and the driver had told them, you guys are going to go down in this gulch here and look for them. And they went down there, and all of a sudden these giant spiders that had killed the cattle came out of these freaking holes in the ground and attacked them. And the thing about that is, unlike D&D, where, we play these D&D adventures and all of a sudden they run into orcs and kobolds, but they also run into skeletons and zombies, and it's all normal. Like nothing ever happened. In this game, it's like, you're rolling horror checks right away because, holy shit, these giant spiders just came out of nowhere. I've never seen any such thing. And I like that aspect of it. It made me, in hindsight, it made me look back at D&D and be like, all this fantastical stuff that's in it, and other than playing Ravenloft, none of it seems to be out of the ordinary. Everybody's just, big deal.
Yeah. Paul makes a good comment here. Don't tell him I said that. Well, hero western, sure, westerns usually played as ruthless mercenaries or cowboy murder hobos. Like that would make me want to run a western more. Like if people were into the, like, hey, somebody's going to be, the sheriff or whatever, or you're like a group of like the badged kind of good guys, and then
Quick.
you know, and then you're going up against these bad guys that are coming to town or whatever, or instead of just being, the guys that want to rob a train all the time. You know, I mean, I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if you guys have had that, issue with westerns or whatever, but
I never
like,
played it. I have Weird Frontiers from Goodman Games and stuff.
yeah,
I like that because it's got the whole Cthulhu aspect to it, which is
yeah.
cool. But we haven't got it to the table.
Yeah, and I've
Um,
run that. I mean, but that turns into like that's it's D&D with guns. I mean, there's I don't know.
Well,
It's a different animal. I think, you know what I mean, like than like a real western.
the thing
I don't know. That's my
I,
my opinion, obviously.
well, so the one thing I'll say about, like, we played that blood drive, and I wish we had finished it, but I had a couple players that were trying to play Savage Worlds Deadlands as D&D, and it's not D&D at all.
Mhm.
Because when you, like, in D&D, if you go prone, you're in trouble. You know what I mean? You go prone and somebody comes up to you and to melee attack you, you're in trouble. Now, obviously, going prone or taking cover in a firefight is
Sure. Yeah.
preferable. But in D&D, that doesn't really happen that often much. Most times, ranged attacks are the initial volley, and then they switch to melee. Well, they played this, and they were like having shootouts with guys, and it's in the dark, and they are, so at nighttime, the cattle drive, the wagons surround, they've got the fires, they're bedded down there. They've got some people that are watching the cattle, whatever, the herd.
Heard?
You got people watching the herd, and so they got attacked, and then they attacked them, at the camp. So here they are lit up. They're in the desert. They are lit up because they got campfires all around them, and they're standing there shooting at them while the enemy is out in the darkness, laying prone, firing at them, and it's not going well at all. And I'm like, guys, you gotta play it different. You gotta think. You gotta use this stuff, and they have things like called tests and support. Like, you might not be a gunslinger. Maybe you've got, like, I forgot what the skills are. Maybe you got some skill where you can shit talk people really well and piss them off. So you could do a support thing where, like, hey, I'm gonna try and support Mike this round, and I'm gonna talk smack to this guy and get him distracted while Mike, gets around on him, and they didn't do any of that stuff. They just played it like stand and fight, and it didn't go well. So we want to try it again. But the thing I loved about it was you had the encounter with, like, the giant spiders that was really, and they had to roll like horror checks on it. And then they found some old building that was, abandoned and locked up, and they were really cautious about it. But then they go in the back and they find an old campfire with like a spit with a leather bag dripping this fluid out of it, and there was like a body inside of it, and it goes back to these Native American rituals, and it freaked them out because there was a decomposing, dripping carcass inside this leather bag hanging over a fire spit, and they didn't know what to do with it. And then a couple nights later, they're like pushing through the desert, and they see some fireball streaking across the sky and crash out in the desert. And they go to search, and it's actually a dead soldier with a rocket pack on that was trying to escape from Area 51. And it adds all this stuff into it. And it really, they were like, they didn't know what side was up because everything is so different. And I really like the setting, but we didn't get a chance to play it enough. So we're going to come back around to it, I think. And I know, we've talked about it. You don't really like Savage Worlds, but I don't know. Have you ever played it a lot?
No.
It's definitely foreign when you first play it, trying to learn the rules.
Sure.
Because they're definitely different. Like, I shoot you, and if I don't beat your armor score, it doesn't hurt you even if I hit.
Yeah.
And if I do hit you, you could use your bennies, the little poker chips. You could use bennies to like re-roll things, but you could also use it to soak damage. So even if I hit you hard, you could be like, well, I'm going to soak that one because, it's kind of like real life. A single shot could kill you if you
Sure.
roll good. It's not like D&D where you've got 50 hit points and it's a
massive
battle
amount
of
of
attrition. It's really like single shots could kill you. I like the idea of it. I'd like to get into it a little more. I think it
Sure.
can be a great game, but it's very different than D&D.
Yeah. No, definitely. It definitely is. Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't know. It just wasn't my thing. Maybe I'll try it sometime. But I mean, I don't know if Deadlands is really my thing. Like that's the other part of it too, to do that. But I mean, I would
There are
try.
a lot of settings to it. It's weird because like they're about to run a Kickstarter. It was supposed to start today or tomorrow, but they've actually pushed it back because Jody Black, you probably don't know who she is, but she's big. She's big in the company. She runs convention games for it. She's been part of it forever. I guess she's having some major medical issues and she's is in the ICU, and they're doing a GoFundMe now trying to raise money for medical bills. So for whatever reason, they pushed back the Kickstarter like a week. But they're doing a Kickstarter for their setting, which is another long-time setting that seems to be very popular, and it's called East Texas High. And it's literally East Texas University. There's Pine Box High, which is like high school kids, and East Texas University, which is college. And it's college, but also professors. And it's like the world goes crazy. Think of like Stranger Things. They show the picture on the box with like a bunch of college students and a werewolf and that kind of stuff. So it's a modern setting with fantasy stuff in it. And it's very popular. I didn't think it was anything I would like, but I'm interested in looking at the Kickstarter to see. It is level based. Yes, as you level though, you don't get more hit points and all that stuff. You get points to spend on skills. So it's more of a skill based, but you get the skills based on levels.
Yeah, it's a weird. I think they consider it level based, but I don't think it's really level based.
Yeah, it's more skill based.
Yeah.
It's one of those systems where you have
but your skills max based on your level.
Right.
I think that's like the cap. So that's the only thing really level matters, I think.
5.5. I'm not looking for popular.
Oh
my
God.
Not in that respect. That's not what I when I say that East Texas University is popular, I mean it's a popular setting within Savage Worlds, but it's not like 5.5 is popular because it's the gateway drug for all the new people.
Sure.
And not for nothing, I've said this a million times. I won't crap on 5e or 5.5 because it has its place. It's brought a lot of people into the hobby, and it will continue to do so. A lot of people have played it, years of it, and then decided, hey, I'd rather try this other stuff. So, that's where Shadow Dark is great because it's, I don't know. Oh, because he bought 5.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little slow on the uptake tonight. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I get it. And no, I mean that was like part of my goal, right? And I've said this right along, but like starting the convention was like I don't mind because people ask me like because they know I'm an old school player, right? And I'd rather play some of the old stuff or whatever. But people ask me all the time, like, oh, are you gonna let people play 5e or like are you gonna let people like yeah, of course. Like I don't like play whatever you want to play. You want to play 5e if that is what you like and you're happy playing that 5e 5.5 2024 whatever, like then play it by all means. I and a lot of people have found problems with it, and my hope with the convention is that people that are playing 5.5
try other games
5.0 is that they show up and not play 5.5 at the
try
convention.
something different.
Like I try not to do that. I don't want to go I love George. George is a great guy. I don't want to go to Mepicon and
Play
play
CNC.
Castles and Crusades
Right.
with George every single time I show up. Yeah, I've done it a few times. It's cool to play with different GMs and stuff. But like, I want to play different shit. I
Hang
want to
on, I
play
got
different
my
games
dog
and
out of
see
the
how
room.
it's done. Yeah. So
Yeah, I try to do that. I mean, with some of the cons, I do like I try to get into
Yeah.
Jeff Kalanian's game just because that's an
Sure.
experience, and then
Yeah.
Dragon Slayer I like, so I was like, oh, I'll try to get in there. I have never, I knew I had met Tom, but like I didn't really know him other than through
Yeah.
ShireCon, but like
Yeah.
through playing through the game, I got to actually talk with him quite a bit during the game and obviously, and then after the game, because he had a small booth there that he was selling some stuff. And I went
Mhm.
over and got that adventure and shot the shit with him for a while. He's a good guy and really good guy. And yeah. And so it was fun. But I like to, like, I'll play different games. Like, I mean, I'm in like 3 or 4 different groups and none of them play official D&D. Like,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
just don't.
But yeah, that was my big hope. And like it's amazing. Like even this like I said with this homeschool group, right? There's a kid in the group. He's playing 5.5. I invited him over for a one shot to play with us once while I was running Shadow Dark. He came over, he played it and was like, "Wow, what a diff like it solves most of his problems." you know, um, just because, and he's got players that, that don't read the book, things like that. He's got players that, that have main character syndrome, and,
Oh, yeah.
and it's a problem. But like, and they don't look at the book, they look at the app and they click the thing. And when they have to actually figure something out, like they don't even know where to look on their character sheet,
Yeah,
and
they get. I
so
saw
that's,
like back in the
that's a
day,
pain.
like there was one time where like the servers for D&D Beyond went down for a while, and people were canceling their games because they didn't know
People
how
know what
to.
to do. Yeah.
They didn't
They
have
have
any
no
idea what
idea
to
what
do.
to do. It's like when you go to the grocery store and like the power goes out or something in the register, and they have to count change out by hand or something, and like,
They don't know how to do it.
and it's like, oh
Right.
my god, math. But yeah, and so but yeah, absolutely like. I'm not going table to table saying, oh, you can't play that or whatever. Like I'm not like,
Carries
yeah.
a he carries a big heavy yardstick around and
Yeah, yeah.
smack.
But
Put
like
that.
I don't care. Like if that's what you want to play, that you like play it, right?
Yeah.
But like what I don't get is the people, and I see this at conventions and stuff all the time, where you'll get people that will literally travel halfway across the country. They'll go to GaryCon from New York with their play group, 4 or
To
5
play
people,
with them. Yeah.
and they will sit in a game and play, and like one of them will run a game and the rest of them will sign up for it. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You didn't travel 1,000 miles just
And-
to
Saved a lot of money.
And
play
pay
in this
all
guy's
that
game.
money. Pay
Yeah,
all
right.
the money
Just
to
play
go
that
there.
guy's game. Like, like I don't know. That's just it. Like it's like with you guys, like I mean, maybe like Stan, maybe, right? Like if I run a game at a convention, Stan might jump, you know what I mean? One into it
Yeah.
because we
I don't get the game.
don't get to
I don't
hang
get
out
the
and
game with
play.
you, so
We
yeah,
don't get the
I
game.
definitely do that.
But like Mike, I would never expect Mike to
No,
jump
because-
into my game at a convention unless there was like other cool people playing, or unless it was something like a one-off thing that was,
So it's got to be someone cooler than you.
well, absolutely.
No,
Absolutely.
I mean,
I agree.
I could literally come and play in your game any weekend.
Right.
So
right.
why
Why would you go to like
Right.
do it at a
Well,
convention? Play with people that are
that's the
there
other
that
thing,
you're
like-
never going to see again.
For me, I mean, obviously, it's cool to when I go to the cons and I get to play with Jeff Kalanian or whatever. But like also, it's like that's probably the only opportunity I'm going to get to play Hyperborea. Like, and I like that game a lot.
Yeah.
And so like I'm not opposed to actually. There's another guy that goes to ShireCon.
I'm gonna
This
hide
guy
this
named
one.
Mark, and I've played in games with him, but not Hyperborea. We were players in an AD&D game, but he runs Hyperborea all the time. He actually wins the last 2 years. He's won like the best adventure contest that ShadowCon has. And I'd like to play in his Hyperborea game too, give
Yeah.
that a shot.
Absolutely.
Now, to
Because I
couple-
like that
Dan,
game. I don't get
let
a
me-
chance to play it.
Let me just get Dan's comment. Dan said he went to GaryCon. There was a Swords and Wizardry game that he was in, and there was a group from New Zealand, and 5 of the 8 spots were from the New Zealand group that played
now
in the
here's
guy's
the thing,
game.
though.
That's crazy.
If the New Zealand group,
Stay in New Zealand.
if the New Zealand group is a bunch of guys that play 5e at home, and they come to GaryCon and they want to
Sure.
get into different games together, I don't see anything wrong with that. You
Yeah,
know,
right.
Sure.
Right.
They might be like, hey, let's go check it out. Let's go. We're going to sign up for Swords and Wizardry. And we're going to sign up for Dragon Slayer. We're going to try these different games.
Yeah.
Because they might be like, hey, we're going to go back home and try these if we like them. That's
Yeah.
different.
No,
That's
Ken,
different than you running a game
Yes.
and me coming to play.
Ken, I'm talking about if I was running games at Page. If I was running games, like we were playing with other people. I'm talking. I'm sorry if that was you misunderstood. Yeah, I'm talking about if you were running a game at Page, like why would I get into your game? Why would Joe and I like do that? That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the 3 of us playing together. When I say playing together and stuff like that, I mean if one of us was GMing, like to be in like one of the games.
Like
if that makes
basically
sense.
like your home group was that page and just
Yeah.
all played together again
Yeah.
with one of you running the game.
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah,
doesn't make any
right.
sense.
Right, exactly.
Well,
It's fine to like, you and Jason go or whatever, and you guys play together. Yeah. I mean, I did that
Yeah,
with my cousin
yeah.
Dan, when we went up to CNY, we played in games, all the games we played together, but we don't also play a lot together at home. So it's like, that's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just weird to like go to all that expense, like Mike was saying, go to all that expense to go to these cons, and then
Yeah.
it's basically your home group. Like you could have done that in your basement.
Yeah, I'm just
for
saying,
a
Ken,
lot less money.
that if you run Chiselheart at CNY, I will not be playing in your Chiselheart games at CNY. I also wouldn't play in your Chiselheart game. No,
I knew that
man,
was coming.
I wouldn't play in the Chiselheart game at CNY because I can play in a Chiselheart game with you like whenever. I know you're dying to run it for me like anytime, so I get it. Also, Ken,
you gotta be
you've
a
made
nice
me
guy and
say
go play with it.
Chiselheart about 6 times in the last minute and a half, so I hope you're happy.
I don't think he made you do anything. You wanted to say it.
Shh, shush. It was just a. Would you play it on a train? Would you? Are we talking about playing Chiselheart? I would play Chiselheart on a train. I would play Chiselheart on a plane. Only with you, Ken. Only with you, Ken.
I want to play Call of Cthulhu on a train.
Ooh, that'd be awesome.
Well, that'd be
That'd
cool.
be
Like rent
cool.
like a big do like a cross country trip. But
We
just
got the
play
Finger
that
Lakes
the whole
Railway
way.
here.
Yeah,
Go on the
do
Finger
that.
Lakes Railway.
That'd be awesome.
Nice slow train through the Adirondacks, playing.
That'd be cool.
Order on the Orient Express.
Yeah.
That'd be
That would be
really
fun.
awesome. That'd be cool. Man, that'd be awesome. We should do that.
It really sucks because when we left our session this week, it was like, all right, what are we going to do? Because our Shadow Dark game just imploded on us.
Yeah.
So he was like, let's try something new. I said, all right. He goes, do you want me to run something? I said, whatever you want to do. You see what's on the shelf. What do you want to run? So he said, why don't you give me the Star Trek box set and I'll read that. I said, okay. All right. I said, well, I'll either prep. He said, I don't want to do Deadlands because we've done that. I'd rather try something new right now. So I said, all right, well, it'll be Delta Green or Call of Cthulhu. And he's like, all right, so I'll prep this one, you prep those two. When we get together next week, we'll just take a vote what people want to play and we'll be ready to go. I said, well, that sounds great and all, but with everything I have going on with excavating my whole yard and all this, I signed the contract today. He wants to start digging on Friday. I got to tear off my deck tomorrow. I get all this stuff. I'm like, you might be the only one prepped. I hate to tell you, but this week I may not get any of it done. I mean, they're not big. I mean, for Call of Cthulhu, if I run it, I'm going to run the Haunting from the Quick Start set. Everybody says that's probably one of the best ways to start the game. If I run Delta Green, it's going to be Last Things Last from their Quick Start, which is
Yeah, I think I played both of those.
yeah. So I'll run one of them. They're very.
I might not. I might not have played the scene. I'm pretty sure I played that Delta Green one. It was good.
Yeah, Last Things Last is a very simple. It's easy. I did see those. Sorry,
run,
you posted.
Run that, Mike.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I did
thing.
see them. I did see them, and I may look at it before that.
That's a Kickstarter link to Star Trek Deep Space Nine murder mystery game.
Well, there's Deep Space Nine and Lower Decks, but you know that
the Lower Decks is an escape room game, and
but
it's
they did
so one's a murder mystery, one's an escape room.
There's two other games that they did,
and that's Beetle and Grimm. You know, they make some decent stuff. So
yeah, so there's two other older games that they did. Yeah, Picard, Murder on the Titan, and Strange New Worlds, Mary Celeste. So you can go down to the Admirals tier and see the other two. You know, I don't know I'm curious to know what the playtime of these are. Are these like a single night session?
I think they are, yeah.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure that they are just a few hours.
I know we all like spending money, but man, it's $168 is a lot of money to spend for 4 single night sessions. You know what I mean?
They got some props and stuff in there. I mean, that's kind of Beetle and Grimm's thing.
Yeah, if they were cheap, I'd be like, sure. I mean, well, the Deep Space Nine.
Well,
so
Deep Space Nine one is $35.
Yeah, you could get.
I mean, that's about average for an escape or not an escape room. Sorry,
that's not
a
bad.
murder mystery thing.
But also, I'm a little confused when they're like a murder mystery game for 1+ players.
Well, yeah, because you can play through it like with one player probably.
Right, but I mean, how does that scale between 1 and say you have 5 players in your regular group?
No, because the way it works is you say you question somebody and then you get to look at like the like one of the things that they know or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's how it works.
I saw it the other day and it looks interesting, but I don't know that it's anything I go for.
I really think that that's a thing that you would wait until after the Kickstarter and then buy it.
Yeah.
Because shipping, if you look at the shipping, it's $7 to $15 per game in the continental United States. And so you're going to end up paying $45, $55 for one of these things. And you're probably better off waiting until it's out and just get it on, online or something when it goes on sale.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my opinion. Obviously, if you guys are really into Star Trek and you want the limited Starfleet command badge or whatever,
I would rather I would rather find a good Star Trek RPG, and it's probably not second edition, just based on what everybody said about it. But like I said,
I don't know. It could have been good, Mike. I mean it. I didn't like it, but I had a bad,
Was it just a bad GM? Yeah.
Bad GM, yeah. Paul, I did not buy that. I didn't back it.
He bought everything else. I mean, he has everything on Kickstarter right now coming, except for that.
even Edgelord. Yeah, no, I didn't, guys. I swear.
Even Video Bird Feeders, he's got
look at that. Thanks. No, I've looked at Video Bird Feeders though for the wife.
I have to. I'm retired. I'm like, yeah, man, I can put up a bird feeder and like take pictures of birds.
There's still time.
I know.
Little Orphan Annie Decoder. Wow, where's that one? I might get that. No. I know I have a problem, guys. You guys know I have a problem. Yeah, it is. No, this Star Trek one isn't. I'm not hugely into Star Trek games. I mean that it's
Yeah,
just I don't know.
I've never
I like
played.
Star Trek, but I have no desire to play a
It would
role
have to
playing
be
game.
right. I really want to run a game like Voyager though, like a hex crawl where you're trying to get to from point A to point B, and there's a bunch of unknown space, and just you hex crawling back, and resource management and all that. I think that'd be fantastic. But you know, that's me, my opinion, right? I don't know. Would you guys play that?
Hmm,
Uh,
I don't know.
Like a space hex crawl thing? You're all the way on one
well,
side of the
yeah,
galaxy, and we're randomly generating hexes and stuff, and you gotta, you know, stop and like get food, and everything's, we count photon
yeah.
torpedoes.
So it's like Trade
I
Wars
think it'd be
2002.
think it'd be fun. Yeah. I mean, I'd
Well,
probably run it like a traveler, like with Traveler or something, because that's kind of suited for it, I think. But
I'm going back to my BBS door games again. Trade
yeah,
Wars.
yeah, yeah,
It was
yeah,
like the best door game I ever played. But
yeah,
I was
yeah.
one of those
Forbidden
obsessive
Lands, yeah.
people like I am with RPGs and played it constantly. And me and another buddy would get on and we, you know, the whole thing with that game was you could destroy the Ferengi homeworld and you could throw Genesis torpedoes and make new planets, and we did
Wow.
all that crap. It was great. We loved it. And we played Operation Overkill, and if you beat the mothership, it would actually reset the game and tell everybody you won. And we did that repeatedly. We get all into those games. That's kind of my basis now because I played, that post-apocalyptic game, tons of radiation, aliens invaded the Earth. You're finding old weapons like frickin' steel chains and
Yeah.
stupid little one-shot range weapons, and it was a hard game. I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Well, I'm looking at this Arathi sector, Paul. I didn't see this. I didn't back it somehow. This looks cool. 2d6. Yeah. I'm gonna have let me know how it is, Paul.
What
And
do you
maybe
mean?
I'll
I mean, you're gonna
I'll grab
back
it.
it. You're gonna late play
No,
it.
no, no, no. It's already done. It
Oh.
finished in January. So I missed it. Otherwise, yeah, I would absolutely jump on it right now. I mean, the box
I
that's $55.
now I don't know that it's like there's anything wrong with any of them. I just have this weird thing about like growing up playing D&D with a full set of dice. I see like, oh, you play Shadowrun and you're just using D6s, or you're playing Star Wars and it's a D6 game. Those games just irritate me. I'm like, I don't
Really?
know. They're so simple in the rule set. It's just the same reason I get irritated with Shadow Dark, with like, thieves. Every one of their skills, you're rolling with advantage on d20s. You're not missing anything. You're a ranger. Every time you roll one of their abilities, you're rolling with advantage on it on d20s. You're not missing anything. I'm playing a ranger. I didn't miss anything. Every one of my rolls I made because they're all at advantage. And if you do fail it, throw your luck token and roll it again.
Yeah.
I don't know. They kind of irritate me. That's why I always like the thief in D&D, where in second edition, where you've got points to spend and you decide how you want to do it. And
It's Jason.
it's a percentile roll.
What? It's got to be like 3 a.m. How is he even here? Unless I got that wrong. It is like 6 hours, right?
He's
Looks
already
like
going
he's
to bed.
crashing.
Yeah. Yeah. Good night, man. We'll catch up.
Don't watch the stream, man. Roger's been talking so much smack about you.
That's not entirely true. Only a little bit of smack. Yeah, the one that slipped by. There's probably several that slipped by, but yeah, no. Let me know. Let me know if there's a backer kit or whatever for that, Paul, for like late pledges or something. If you know about that, let me know, and I'll back it if there's a backer kit.
Just,
Fuck it.
just think about all these things that you backed and all the money you spent, and when you're gone, your family's just gonna like donate it or something. It'll be
No,
gone.
they're gonna sell it. They're gonna sell it. She's definitely gonna sell it.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm down for this Arathi sector. I'm down for it. I want it. I want it now. See, I missed out. FOMO. This is why I back things, because then people are like, "Look at this thing," and I look at it and I'm like, "This is amazing," and then, I can't actually get it, and then that's it. So, what are you gonna do? So, I don't know. I guess that's that. What? So that was ShadowSun.
Yep.
Thanks.
Big.
But no. What else you guys got? You guys got anything else?
Did you back Low Life?
I don't
I
think
don't
so.
have it.
What's that?
It says it's a Kickstarter. It says Low Life, a Dungeon Degenerates role playing game,
Oh no, because I'm not into the Dungeons Degenerates stuff.
and it says Ghetto role playing game.
Yeah. I'm just not into the
don't know.
Dungeon Degenerates game.
I have no idea
But
what it is.
I've never heard
I
of
don't know the RPG. I mean, I like the color choices, because I like the big bright, stuff. But I don't know. I don't know too much about it.
Hmm.
So I did not. Now, of course, I'm on it and I'm scrolling through the thing, and now you're gonna end up making me want to back it. But I don't know. We'll see.
I looked at it.
T20 Rollo system. Nope, I'm out.
it. No, you're out.
Well,
It's Roger's red
20
flag.
Rollo.
I'm not
Boom.
into that.
Boom, I'm out. I do want a Arathi sector though. Yeah, the look of Dungeon Degenerates is awesome.
I think the next one I'll end up backing is probably the OSC book.
Mothership Matt, welcome to the party.
Demonic Grimoire.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll probably back that.
I'm not gonna back it.
Yeah,
I have the
Neon
other
Wasteland
OSC
color
books,
palette,
so
yeah.
probably get it.
Yeah, good stuff. So, yeah. What else? I've covered all my notes. I don't have anything else.
Look at that.
What do you guys got? You guys want
I don't
to?
have much.
Flail. Matt, I instantly backed Flail. I mean, I watched it like before. I jumped on it. Like the whole mouse ritter system, I kind of like. It's simple, it's quick, and then they've got like some DCC stuff. It's just crazy. The art is fantastic. It's a real small system. It looks fantastic. I love it. I backed it. It's awesome. But yeah,
You don't like
Yeah.
money, do you?
good stuff. What's that?
You don't like money, do you?
I mean, I love money, but I mean, I'm in a decent paying job,
Yeah.
and this is like my thing, right? This is my hobby. Like that's it. Like I gave up all my other hobbies, and for this.
I guess.
Like so, this is what I do is the gaming thing. So. I mean, some people like to play golf. Some people buy cars. Some, you know what I mean? This is my collection thing, I just collect RPGs. So, yeah, good times. So, yeah. All right, guys. What else you got? Anything? Any last,
I think so.
Nope.
any last words? All right. So fantastic. I don't know what's going on next week yet. I'm going to find out. Trying to talk to some people, and we'll see who we can get. But I will try and
We'll see if you need us again.
we'll see. Hey, so yeah, thanks for coming on, guys. Appreciate it. And next week, I don't know. I don't think Jason will be back next week. We'll see.
Thought he said he was gonna be gone for a couple weeks.
I think he's gone for 2 weeks. Yeah, I think he's gone Tuesday, so as well. So we'll see. So we'll catch him on the following week. So we'll have to see what we can get next week, and go from there. But yeah, so thanks everybody for coming. Please like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and we'll see you guys on the flip side. We'll see you guys next week.
See you
Take
later.
care, everybody.